Perfect time to get a jump start on those New Year's resolutions. We'll help you start your running journey off right with shoes handpicked just for you based on how you run. Follow us on Facebook to learn more about our group runs for people of all paces, where we can give you advice and support on your running journey. Let us help you find your True Grit fit at True Grit Running Company, 6808 Rogers Avenue, Suite B, behind Chick-fil-A.
Do you need gutters but think they're too expensive, or that you need to get the soffit or fascia ready? No worries. Call the Gutter Guy. He does it all. No need to call multiple companies to get the right gutters for your home. Call the Gutter Guy. Quality, low maintenance, leaf-free gutters with a 5-year warranty. The Gutter Guy also does vinyl siding and windows. The Gutter Guy. Over 30 years experience. Call 226-1259. Call the Gutter Guy.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith, or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging, the Xerox authorized dealer in the River Valley. You might know us as your source for large Xerox multifunction or production printers. But for many of you, your needs have changed. Smaller equipment has become more necessary, and we are here to help. We carry the Xerox desktop models, but also brother workhorse printers and multifunctions with 3-year replacement warranties included. So give us a call at 479-783-6600 or visit us at dixiedigital.com. Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document solutions to the River Valley.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
Tonight, partly cloudy skies, and overnight low will drop down upper 20s north, mid 30s south. Lots of sunshine Wednesday. Our high temperatures upper 40s to low 50s. Thursday, another really nice sunny day with our high low 40s north, upper 40s south. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Fayetteville is 1,843 miles away, but the call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com.
Radio station.
KERX, Paris, Fort Smith, from the Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
That three-peat we've been talking about that hadn't happened since the 30s, just shows you how hard it is. Mm-hmm. And now that probably will stand beyond 100 years. You know, I don't see Michigan going on a three-peat. Certainly don't see Washington doing that. And I don't think Alabama's in a position any longer to accomplish that or make a run at it. As great as Alabama's dynasty is and has been, they couldn't do it either.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Bushlight Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty-Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir.
So at one point, a few years back, John and Jim Harbaugh meet for the Super Bowl, where John bested his brother and the Baltimore Ravens defeated the San Francisco 49ers. Now we find ourselves with both Harbaughs near at the pinnacle of their sport. Jim Harbaugh, 1 game away from declaring themselves a national champion. John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens locked up the number 1 seed in the AFC, and probably going to rest some players this weekend as they host the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's pretty crazy that 2 brothers are potentially going to win their respective sport. We'll see if it plays out that way. But like we said, didn't think it was going to happen. 3-peat, even as good as Georgia looked on paper, as crummy as their schedule was, it didn't pan out. And that's why, like we said, Tommy, hadn't happened since the 30s in college football, and probably won't happen for another 100 years, to be honest.
Might not. That's where we begin this morning. We're brought to you by Oaklawn and the Oaklawn Anywhere app. Horse racing is back, live racing all the way through May. And if you haven't downloaded to your phone, tablet, or computer the Oaklawn Anywhere app, right now's the time to do it. Coming up this Saturday, the $150,000 Pippin Stakes. You can wager on it or any horse race around the country with the Oaklawn Anywhere app. You can watch any track on your smartphone, tablet, or computer. You can earn points for cash back for every dollar wagered. And as a member at Oaklawn Anywhere, you get free past performances and free access to valuable handicapping selections to help you win. Use the promo code RUSH24, RUSH24, and get a $150 sign-up bonus just for putting in that code when you sign up. It's the Oaklawn Anywhere app. Get ready for live racing back this weekend at Oaklawn, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays.
So Jim Harbaugh has evidently hired an agent rooted in deep NFL connections, was very passive in talking about his future following the win over Alabama. And I wonder, I've speculated on this for a while, if it would be more likely that he win and go out on top in Michigan before jumping back in the NFL, where I think his true heart is. As much as he bleeds blue, I think he ultimately wants to be an NFL coach. Or would a loss send him? I don't know if it's the motivation factor of, hey, we got to come back and win this thing, or if it's the idea of, hey, I won a national championship for my alma mater. Now I want to move back to the NFL.
So I was listening to Greeny yesterday morning, the show that follows us on most of the stations people are listening to around the state now. And they had an interesting statistic, if you will. You know how many coaches have won a national championship in football and then jumped immediately to the NFL?
Like directly after?
Yeah, like what Jim Harbaugh could do a week from Monday or a week from yesterday. I guess it was. What's today? I've lost track.
Wednesday.
Okay, a week from 2 days ago. You know how many coaches have won a national title and went to the NFL for the next season? Ever?
I know Pete Carroll has won, but it wasn't the next season. That's the one that is the most immediate that comes to mind.
Jimmy Johnson won a national championship, went to the NFL.
Saban won his in 2003, and then I think left for the Dolphins in 2005. You said Jimmy Johnson won and then went to...
He didn't go direct.
Okay.
I'm just talking about national championship coach. But how many of those won national titles and made the move right then?
I'm going to guess you're going to tell me zero.
Zero's the answer. So when talking about this, we act like it's, and the point yesterday made, and I totally agree with it and why I bring it up, we talk about it like it's commonplace. Well, coaches win national championships and make the automatic progression to the NFL. Well, it's never happened. That's what they were talking about. And I'm like... I found that to be astonishing that in the history of history, no one's ever done this. But that's what we could be witnessing here. I think Jim Harbaugh is fed up with the whole process of the NCAA, the Big Ten, probably to some degree his own administration at Michigan. And I will be shocked, win or lose on Monday night against Washington, whether he's back at Michigan. I just think the whole NCAA, this whole investigation, 2 suspensions in 1 year, probably feels like to some degree his own university has not had his back, forcing one of those suspensions. All of it that adds up. It's a cumulative effect. I'll be surprised if he's back, Big C.
Yeah, the stars kind of aligned for Harbaugh. Like, it makes a lot of sense for him to do it. I know most coaches, when they win one, they kind of get the taste of, I want to try to, continue this. But like you said, with Harbaugh and the way the college football is now, I mean,
generally,
makes sense.
First of all, years ago you'd make more money in the NFL. That's not true necessarily today. Generally, if you win a national championship, your school, your boosters are ready to back up the Brinks truck and give you a blank check, whatever it takes to keep you here. So the idea of making the move to the NFL to make more money, that hasn't been true for a long time now. And Michigan boosters, I'm sure, will be ready to back up a fleet of Brinks trucks to keep him there. But they're talking as much as $20 million a year in the NFL. That's unheard of.
Yeah, 10 years.
And I don't see a college doubling essentially what's more or less the top salary. There's some guys just north of 10, but no one's touching 15. No one's touching 12, to my knowledge. I think in Kirby and Nick, aren't they at the top at like just under 11 million, somewhere in there?
That sounds right.
Somewhere in that neighborhood. I mean, you start getting to those kind of dollars, doesn't matter. Point is, if the NFL truly does go $20 million to get Harbaugh there, that's doubling the top salary, essentially, in college football. No one's going to do that in the game right now with all the other bills piling up with NIL. And, there's not owners of these programs. Owners of whatever NFL franchise, they got deep, deep pockets. They can do what they want.
And he is a different duck If there would be anyone to break that mold that you just laid out from Greeny yesterday, it would be Jim Harbaugh. He's been reportedly offered a 10-year, $125 million, so that would make him the highest-paid coach in college football. He has not signed that said contract yet. And again, I
can't see him going for $20 million to the NFL. That just seems beyond.
I think if it
well,
was
that's the college contract.
No. But they're talking about the NFL franchise is offering as much as $20 million a year.
You think that's just a rumor?
It's just what people are talking about that talk the NFL all the time. I find it hard to believe that in the end they're going to get to that number. That seems like more than you should have to pay to get Harbaugh.
I think of him more as an NFL coach anyway. He just happens to be coaching college football right now.
He's won everywhere he's been: Stanford, Michigan, San Francisco, and we'll see if Ann Arbor is where he harbors next year if he moves on this next season. Again, a big story.
And he's won in the NFL big, you know. So what was it, brother on brother? Not long ago. How many years ago was that? It was in New Orleans, wasn't it?
I think that was the 2013 Super Bowl.
Doesn't seem that long ago.
Believe that's right. That's when the lights went out, and then
that's exactly what I was getting ready to say next. That was the New Orleans Super Bowl where they had that 40-minute delay or whatever. So it'll be interesting. But this idea that it happens all the time, we kind of talk about it as though it's commonplace. It's never happened before. Hey, we're brought to you by West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. Water, sewer, gas, and grease lines. They've been handling all of those needs since 1993. If you got a clogged drain we had someone here at the office had a water heater that had ruptured. It was causing problems yesterday morning. 646-5151 is the number to put in your phone, and that's who you call when you have a plumbing emergency. You don't want to be fumbling around trying to figure out, call friends. Who do we use as a plumber when things happen? It's not an everyday thought. West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. Again, for more than 30 years, they've been taking care of everything, water, sewer, gas, or grease. West Ark Plumbing and Expert Drain Services. Put it in your phone. 479-646-5151.
All right, when we return here on the Morning Rush, it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday, and I've got a few of them this morning. I want to talk about gym cancellations. I want to talk about steak, and I also want to talk about a few other things. If you've got a beef, jump in with us here on the McLarty Daniel hotline as well. We're going to talk about bowl mascots. We're going to talk about the college football playoff setup for next season, what that looks like in terms of scheduling. Plus, new basketball gyms, and Arkansas landed a transfer commit. All that is coming up.
Your show is the best one in the state. Y'all are the true ESPN radio.
You're listening to the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
This is the Morning Rush.
Give me the hogs, Chuck! Give me the hogs! Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kymco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
With over 40 years combined experience, the team at the law offices of Craig L. Cook understand the definition.
The way that I look at this
real
is this.
work,
Like, let's just look.
for you. Whether you've been injured in an auto accident, on the job, a victim of nursing home negligence, or need help navigating bankruptcy, Social Security, wills, trusts, estates, or family law issues, Craig Cook will go to work for you. Call us today, 479-783-8000. The law offices of Craig L. Cook, with locations in Arkansas and Oklahoma. We work for working people.
There's more to a tractor than just horsepower. A tractor also needs weight to get that horsepower to the ground. With TYM, a heavier tractor comes standard. Many of the TYM models weigh more for the horsepower than comparable tractors from the big names, and tractors that weigh more do more. See Bush Tractor at their new location at 6100 South Zero in Fort Smith, or log on to bushtractor.com to see how they can upgrade your productivity.
Clogs? Nobody wants a clog. West Ark Plumbing knows that clogs are a serious issue. They can signal that bigger problems are on the way. So contact West Ark Plumbing while the problem is small. Slow shower and sink drains, gurgling toilets, and outside cleanouts making a mess? Call 479-646-5151 today. West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning since 1993. They keep you flowing. If you have slow drains or high water bills, call West Ark Plumbing and expert drain cleaning service. 646-5151.
Billy, can I ask you a question?
You just did.
Seriously, we are getting a lot of positive comments about you. What's your secret?
Oh, I just follow the 4 W's.
4 W's? Aren't there 5?
5?
Yeah. What, where, when, why, and who?
Wes, who starts with an H?
That's how.
I don't know how. It just does.
No, who starts with a W?
You sure?
Positive.
Anywho, my 4 W's are, what would Wes want? I picture every customer like there's you asking for something. What you want is what they want. What would Wes want? WWWW, 4 W's. Makes 8 U's.
Huh?
Treat customers like you, and it doubles the people. Pretty simple the way I see it.
4 W's. What would Wes want? Billy, you're brilliant.
Eat Jim's RazorbackPizza.com.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news for the new year. Introducing Road Ready Certified used cars, inspected and certified with a comprehensive warranty. You simply can't buy a better used car. Road Ready Certified, only available at Rath Auto Resources. Another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Woo pig suey, and it's fantastic when people call it. Now, if things aren't going well, sometimes they yell woo pig fooey, and that isn't real good. That's bad luck. Calling hogs, they go suey.
Pick and roll, nobody picked him up, but Devo stole the pass anyway. Devontae down the lane on the other end, layup good. Devo bailed him out on one end, lays it in on the other.
Subscribe to the Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, and share.
Back to our last conversation about the Harbaughs and college coaches that moved on to the NFL. RT asking the question on the McCarty Daniel hotline, other than Jimmy Johnson, what college head coach made the move to the NFL and won a championship? Well, the first one that comes to my mind is Pete Carroll. Now, there's probably another one that I'm missing here and there, but that's the most recent one that I can think of. The guy that had success at the college football level, of course, him at USC in Los Angeles, moved on to the National Football League and won with the Seattle Seahawks as well. So that's the one I'm thinking of. There's probably another one or two that I'm missing.
Yeah. I don't know what they were talking about on Ruskin and Zach, but I'm looking up here on the board. You see where it says there from like 4:30 yesterday afternoon, to make good jerky, you first start with a good meat man. That text is from Joey Clampett. Yeah, Clampett's Country Meat Market. I just noticed that. He brought me some jerky over the weekend. And it was, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, it's just so good. So I don't know what they were talking about. They got Joey's attention, and he's right. I told him I want to go down and spend like a day with him in his store and learn how to make beef jerky. I don't know if he'll show me all the secrets, but man, his beef jerky and those beef sticks are incredible. That's one thing I know how to cook, and I know how to do a lot of things. Good beef jerky's not in my wheelhouse.
Not jerky.
No, I want to learn. And I think I could do it. I just need to be shown the ways. But seriously, if you want just really awesome beef jerky, and I don't mean just, if you're buying it out of a package at a convenience store, you're not doing it right. Clampett's Country Kitchen, Highway 7. I mean, I didn't mean to turn this into a commercial, but I'm telling you, it's just that good. Clampett's Country Kitchen. You've had some. We've all had some of it. We got in our Christmas, in our stocking here at the radio station. Got some of those beef sticks and some of that jerky for Christmas. That's where you go get it. Highway 7, or you go to their website or call Joey. They'll just box up a bunch of it and send it to you. I was talking to Rodney over at Harry Robinson. He got, for deer season this year, he called Joey down there. He'd heard us talking about it. Got $250 worth of it just for deer season shipped in.
Rodney loves his jerky. I didn't think I'd dream this up. I saw this on Facebook this morning that Joey is hiring in his meat department. So if you want a new career,
maybe that's my next step in life is to do that. But that's Clampett's Country Kitchen, Highway 7. Just let me get this right. Just north of the west gate of the village, just south of Jessieville. It's up there on the hill. Guess on the east side of the road. So
well,
check it out. Best jerky around.
Speaking of meats, Christian said when he was clipping this morning, this made him hungry. As this
sounds like bacon frying.
Yeah, it's
that bacon, or is that a steak going?
Steak going.
All right.
So I did steak last night, and it is a What's Your Beef Wednesday. I want to know if people have a beef with the way I cooked this or not. We have a grill. I think it's out of propane. I don't think I've ever used it. It's my roommate's. So I did on the stovetop, and I always do everything on the stovetop at this point. It was a ribeye, and I always do anything I cook always gets garnished with grilled mushrooms and grilled onions. So I did a ribeye with grilled onions and grilled mushrooms and rice, and then also had spinach and arugula. Yeah. So
how did it taste doing it in a skillet versus the grill?
I mean, I like when everything caramelizes together, and then I put the stovetop lid on top, and
something to think about for the next time. Not saying what you did was wrong, but think about this. Get that skillet super hot, sear that steak on both sides for 2 minutes a side or whatever, then throw it in a 350-degree oven for 10 or 12 minutes.
What's the difference? Baking and stovetop?
It'll be lower heat and more controlled, and I think probably will give you a little better,
cook through more,
a little better finished product. Just try it. See if you like it that way. I'm like you. I generally use the grill, but nothing wrong with the way you did it.
Steak in an oven's pretty good.
But you got to sear it first. If you don't sear it to begin with, then all those juices come out, and then it's just
it doesn't taste as good. Yeah, I
start with a hot skillet, a little butter, a little garlic butter or something in that skillet. Put your onions and your mushrooms. Do you like onions in it or just mushrooms?
Both.
Yeah, I like both too. So if you want to put a little bell pepper, I'm not going to be mad at it.
We went to this weekend in Chicago. We went to this really famous steak restaurant called Gibson's, and I got ridiculed because I got off the plane and I was starving. So instead of waiting for the steak, which our reservation was at 8:30, so I knew we weren't going to eat until like 9:30, I opted to eat at the bar where we were at before, and I got smashed for just drinking Coors Light at this steak place and not actually getting the steak. I'm going to be honest, before last night, I'd
have drank Mick Ultra, but to each their own.
Yeah, I probably had not had a steak in 6 months. It had been that long. But
well, here come the elitists. Well, using a gas grill is your first problem. Well, listen, sometimes you don't have time to build a fire by hand. I agree, charcoal's the way to go, but you don't always have that much time.
Chad texted on the McCarty Daniel hotline and says it's not even close to as good as grilling a steak at this point.
It depends. I used my Blackstone. Now, if I got was this a fine piece of meat or is this just a standard stock store ribeye?
2 for $14 at Aldi.
Okay, so then whatever you do with it's not going to be fine. Now, if I go to like if I'm going to go to the upscale meat counter, or I'm going over to Sam's or something, I'm going to buy a $15 a pound ribeye, I'm probably going to take a little more care of it. But you said 2 for $14? You can't really mess that up.
Okay. So if I went to Richards in Fayetteville or Weldon's in Hot Springs or
Paul's in Fort Smith.
Paul's and give me
Butcher
the,
Block.
what's
Butcher
the
Block would be the way to go.
What's the Harrison one?
Ooh. I don't know. I have to get
going
some help
all
on that.
over the state real quick. I don't
patting everybody on the back.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I would not do a stovetop like that. I would not steak stovetop, but with it being an Aldi 2 for $14 steak, that's the way I'm going to
You at least know how to garnish it correctly. Bell pepper, or at least onion and mushrooms to go with it.
I do that with pretty much everything.
Yeah,
it just tastes
you
better.
get along on that deal.
We got some more text on this. Gavin in Fayetteville on the McCarty Daniel hotline says cast iron skillet steaks are his favorite. And that's what Robert and
Jerry says I'm not clearly Tommy's not aware of the reverse sear. Well, I am aware of the reverse sear, but I would not do that with a steak. I would reverse sear is the wrong technique on a piece of meat like that.
I don't
you
know.
want to sear the juices in, Jerry. You do that first.
Oh, is it saying after?
Yeah, you could reverse sear that after, but that's not how I would treat a ribeye. To each their own. I mean, there's probably not a bad way to cook a ribeye, but if I was going to reverse sear on a ribeye is not my preferred technique.
BA in El Dorado has some thoughts on this as well as he joins us on the McCarty Daniel hotline. BA, what's up, man?
Good morning, gentlemen. How are y'all?
Good, man.
How are you doing this morning, gentlemen?
Good, man. What's up?
Well, Tommy, maybe you just haven't been reverse searing proper.
Maybe
because I don't do 350, so I get that cast iron skillet. I put it in the oven. I do mine at like 280. Okay. I have a temperature probe though in my steak, and once that steak gets up to about 120, because I like mine medium rare, it gets to 120. I pull the steak out. I set it to the side. I let it rest right then, so it gathers its juices back in.
Mm-hmm.
The whole time I'm getting that skillet just searing hot.
Yep.
And then it's like a minute and a half, 2 minutes aside, and that steak is perfect and tender. And that's the difference. It's just going to be a much more tender piece of meat. But I do agree with you. When you're buying a 2 for $14 ribeye, you can't really go wrong no matter how you cook it, unless you cook it well done.
See, my preferred method, if I have the time and everything there, is to get the big green egg up, get it going, get it to about 600, 650, get it really hot, 2 minutes aside, and then when you flip it for the second time, just shut the grill down, shut all the air off to it, let it cook 8 more minutes, and I'm telling you, every time it's perfect.
We also go ahead, BA. Sorry.
I was just saying that's the greatest thing about cooking meat. And, everyone has their own grill. You couldn't come to my house and cook on my grill and make the steak the way you want it. And I couldn't do that on your grill because we all know our pieces of equipment. But I'm like you. My absolute favorite way, I have a big smoker that I used to use when I did competition cooking. And so I love to have that smoker going. Like if I'm doing a brisket, I'm cooking for like the next 16 hours, I'll start that steak. I'll do a steak there, and then I'll sear it like over the firebox. But I'm like you. It just whatever you do, whatever you like, you got to do it the right way with the mushrooms, the onions, and it wouldn't even hurt to put a little herb butter on there at the end.
Yeah, I like herb.
I'm trying to say it. That sounds delightful. BA.
I think I'm coming to El Dorado and BA, I'm just going to spend like 3 days with you down there.
That's fine. We'll play plenty of golf and eat plenty of steak.
All right, I'm in.
There you go.
All
BA,
right.
appreciate the
call.
call.
We'll let the weather warm up, but yeah.
Bobby texted in from Ashdown this morning. It says, smoke the ribeye to an eternal temp tie of 145, then sear it high on the pit grill on both sides.
Bobby's not wrong. I've done that before.
BA kind of labeled it correctly. Everyone seems to have their protocol when it comes to their steaks. Again, I just tossed in some onions, tossed in some mushrooms, threw the steak on top, put the lid on top, flipped it a couple times till it looked like it was done. Didn't measure the temp, didn't do any of that, and that's what I ate last night.
Woo Pig Steven on the McClarty Daniel hotline says, listen, the adults in the room know you only reverse sear a roast or a prime rib. I think there's other things you can reverse sear. It's just not, I don't think you're wrong if you do it. It's just not my preferred method. I think you seal the juices in by direct searing first.
You said you had a green egg. The one
Yeah.
investment I would make is it a Blackstone? Is that the
I have
Waffle
a black
House looking thing?
Well, okay, yeah, I'll go with that.
That would
I've
be
got one of those too, and
What does that run?
Oh, 300.
Oh, that's not bad. I was thinking it was going to be like 1,400.
Oh, no.
That's a 300.
I think I paid $3 something for mine, and I upgraded, and I've got the cover. It's got the hard cover and the storage drawers.
So what?
Spend the extra $100 or whatever it is to get that model.
The nooks and crannies and
that
the gadgets.
keeps the moisture off of it. Like if you don't have the cover on and it rains, it's not the end of the world.
We got questions about the marinade. I used Arkansas's own
marinade.
Do you put anything? I just use Cavender's.
Salt, pepper, garlic. Look at Cavender's. Nothing right. You know where Cavender's is made at?
Harrison.
There you go.
Yeah, I did. Someone told me that one time. A Harrison Goblin told me that one time, and I thought that was cool. But yeah, that is the way we went about it last night, trying to eat healthier. And there was some, and I also threw some.
Wait. Trying to eat healthier with a ribeye?
That's good for you. You got arugula, spinach, mushrooms, onions, a little rice, and a ribeye.
Ribeye, like if I'm on death row and they say, "Hey, it's your last meal," bring in the bone-in ribeye. I mean, I agree, but if healthy is the goal, the ribeye is not the choice.
Meat, veggies, and a slight bit of rice.
The ribeye is not the choice. You need probably go more like filet or sirloin.
Okay. Well, I'm just basically going down
But there's no better steak than a ribeye.
I always do chicken thighs, but I'm just going down the Alti meat aisle. And that was the first one that I think was after the chicken thighs, so that's just the one I grabbed.
You take a bed of, I don't know what we've turned into here, but you take a bed of mashed potatoes and lay that down on a plate, and then you drop that steak after it's rested a few minutes on top of those garlic mashed potatoes, and then you put your mushrooms and your onions. If you can find a finer meal than something like that made in your own kitchen, God bless you, because that's about as good as it gets for me.
Well, I think when you're talking about the reverse searing, so I always broil my pizzas at the end. I cook my frozen pizzas for the highest amount of time. It says 21 to 24 minutes. I'll cook it for 24 minutes, and then when it's done, the timer goes off. I'll broil it for another 2 or 3 because I like
it crunchy.
Yeah,
I do too.
What about an air frying a steak? Are we getting into different territory?
I don't have an air fryer. Christian has an air fryer.
I got an air fryer. Laura has an air fryer.
Have you never done that?
Nah. Now, here's what I have done.
Don't knock it till you try it.
I hear it's good. I have reheated. All an air fryer is a countertop oven. That's all it is. It's a countertop convection oven. That's all they are. So if I've told you to put a steak in the oven, then why would I tell you not to use that? I would use it more for reheat than like if you go to Doe's or somewhere that you got a slab of meat. That's how I'd reheat it the next day.
So a ribeye is not healthy. I thought I was being healthy starting out.
Well, let's just say there's leaner choices. I think you made the correct choice. You're not like me. You don't have to really worry about what you eat. But there's not in my opinion, a tastier choice than a ribeye. Well, I don't think it's the healthiest.
The last 3 months, I've been eating a quesadilla pretty much every night during the week. So
how could that go wrong?
Switching it up when it comes to meat, veggies, rice.
Ooh, look at the time. We are behind. More cooking show. The cooking show here on the Morning Rush Network is brought to you by Wheels RV. You could probably get one of these Brinkley's with the Model Z with the outside kitchen and the inside kitchen. Serious steak up there by the White River or the Norfolk or Table Rock Lake or Beaver or somewhere. How good would that be? Then just get back inside, get your recliner inside your Brinkley Model Z and kick your feet up and relax in total satisfaction. And then go outside and sit by the campfire. You can see all that. Hey, when you buy a Brinkley Model Z or a Grand Design or a Forest River product at Wheels RV, you get a lifetime warranty so you can camp with confidence. Stop in and see them at Wheels RV, 5 miles west of Exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV. More steak questions, more steak calls and comments coming up here on the Morning Rush.
Yeah, and Richard Davenport, who also will join us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. We'll get his thoughts on Arkansas's newest commit, Jordan Anthony, and more coming up.
Join the local conversation on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Call or text 877-377-6963.
The best selection of RVs is now...
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business, on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen, or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time, every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Chuck is a living legend in this state, and anytime I get to talk to Chuck, the privilege and the honor to speak to you. And as long as you, Ty, you know you're a little wet behind the ears.
35 seconds to go. Hawks beat the pressure, and Brazil to the other end slams it home. Brazil with a dunk. It's 101-87.
Please rate and review the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Give us 5 stars to help us get our content out to the rest of the Razorback family. Just search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts.
All right, so we're going to talk to Richard Davenport here coming up in just a bit on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Still getting text about steak. David in Greenwood saying we're killing him this morning because he is starving on his New Year's diet. Casey from Crossit saying Red Oak Fire is the only way to cook a steak. Bill from Fayetteville sent me a steak nutrition guide to look at. The ribeye has 170 calories, 8 grams of fat, and 24 grams of protein per every 3 ounces. We also get a text out of the 479 saying is it sous vide?
Sous vide, yeah.
Sous vide at 130 degrees with high power torture, high temp, and sear to finish it off at
Good
this
way
point.
to do it.
Well, ask Richard what he thinks coming up in just a sec.
I bet Richard knows his way around a steak. So, hey, get cleaner cuts and make denser bales faster and more efficiently. And now you can save big during New Holland's Value Bonanza. It's going on at WT Equipment. Take advantage of 0% financing for 60 months or get big cash back on select hay tools, including disc combine, disc mowers, conditioners, roll belt round balers, and Hayliner small square balers. They're all available right now at WT Equipment. These are legendary names in quality haymaking, and you can put their reliability into your operation for the best value of 2024. Work smarter and save big. The incredible deals are now at New Holland's Value Bonanza. They're at WT Equipment. Find them a location near you online at WTEquip.com.
Richard, we've had a lot of passionate takes this morning about steak. I did mine on the stovetop last night. When you're cooking one for yourself or one for you and your wife, how do you usually go about doing it as we welcome you in?
I'm about as educated about cooking a steak as a rock. I just throw it on the grill, man. That's all I do. I may throw on some seasoning or something like that, and maybe throw some other stuff and marinate it, for a day or so. But other than that, I really don't. Not an expert. There's no doubt about that.
Well, I'm not either. So we can both get enlightened this morning by our Morning Rush listeners so that they continue to give us advice on that.
Just listen to me.
Yeah. One thing you are an expert in is recruiting, Richard. And Jordan Anthony, the latest Arkansas commit, wide receiver, Kentucky, Texas A&M, a speedster, is going to run track. What can you tell us about the newest Arkansas addition?
Yeah, well, the main thing that you need to know, 10-1-6 in the 100 meters as a freshman at Kentucky, and that's really all you need to say. I know his stats wasn't anything to write home about. 3 catches for about 14 yards last year, but obviously Coach Petrino saw enough that he wanted him to be a part of the program, and you just can't. I mean, you just cannot teach that type of speed, and you get some guys like Joe Adams and Jarius Wright on the field, and their ability to stretch the field. You've seen what Coach Petrino was able to do with them, and he's trying to add some more speed to the offense, and he definitely did it with Jordan. So it'd be interesting to watch him in spring practice, see how he does. But the speed is just something that just absolutely stands out. He may be the fastest guy that I've ever seen. Go to the University of Arkansas for football. 10-1-6. I can't recall anybody offhand running anything like that. as I've sit here and try to think about it. But that's lightning fast.
Richard Davenport with us on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Richard, the portal's closed now unless you're a graduate. Walk us through the timelines and then the numbers as well, kind of where Arkansas's at scholarship-wise and numbers-wise with the roster.
Yeah, well, they got 9 commitments from the transfers. Last year, about this time, they had 4. So they're a little bit ahead of what they did last year, and last year's class finished number 7 in the country, and I think it finished with about 13, 14. I don't have the number in front of me. Transfers or something like that. But it looks like they still want another offensive lineman or 2. I think they may add 2 more, but at least 1 more. Running back, and they added the receiver. Coach Pittman on signing day mentioned what they were looking for, and that's what they were looking for offensively. Now you're looking for an edge rusher and a defensive tackle, another linebacker, and or safety. So I think that's what you're looking at. Probably you're looking at about 7 more additions to the roster from the transfer portal.
Is that how many scholarships are left available? Is 7?
I haven't even looked at that. I'll be honest with you. We always talk about the numbers working out. I couldn't tell you.
Richard Davenport with us here, Whole Hog Sports and the Arkansas Democrat-Gazette. Richard, football-wise, you just kind of listed out the setup for the roster. What do you think people, as we've entered 2024, what should people hope in this football team? What do you think they should find some positives in as we enter this season with a new offensive coordinator?
We've talked about this. I mean, you have a back-to-back, well, not back-to-back, but you end the season with 2 horrible losses to Auburn and Missouri. I mean, it's not. There's a lot of fans are not going to be very optimistic, regardless of what you do. But beforehand, Arkansas was as competitive as anybody in the SEC. Obviously, they didn't win very many games, but that was with an historically bad offensive line. Even just a good offensive line, they probably go 7-5, 8-4 minimum. But obviously, with the offensive lines having as many struggles as they had, the record reflected, their play. So I just look at, right now they have 3 guys that are going to be coming in at midterm on the offensive line. They're trying to add 1 or 2 more, and I think that they've upgraded there, and I think it's going to help them tremendously on the offensive line going forward. And if you correct that, I think Arkansas is going to be back where they should be, very competitive and winning games. How many games, that remains to be seen, but I think they're going to give them chance to be successful.
Richard, we opened the show talking about Jim and John Harbaugh. John, head coach of the Ravens, has his team number 1 seed. Jim looks like they could win the national championship based on the way they played this past Monday night. Do you see Jim Harbaugh coaching in Ann Arbor after this season or making the jump back to the National Football League?
I could see him. I mean, I think I've made it clear my thinking about coaches and the way the current situation is with college football, as far as NIL, transfer portal, trying to keep a roster together and all that, and just plain recruiting in general. I tend to think that he may look very seriously at the NFL, and it's not like just that, but evidently, and I know a few Michigan fans, and one in particular is very educated about what's been going on with Harbaugh and the AD, and the AD. It seems like Harbaugh has been very, very frustrated with the AD, and the relationship with the AD and the head coach is very vital. And I think now they're trying to throw him a big contract when he probably felt like that he was not being, respected and appreciated enough previously. So I just tend to think with maybe the relationship with the AD and then the current state of college football, I don't see why you don't go to the NFL, and especially when you probably could make a little bit more money and you don't have all the headaches that you have right now in college football.
Richard, we'll leave it there. We'll catch up with you next Wednesday. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys. Take care.
All right, Richard Davenport with us here on the McClarty Daniel Hotline. Joins us every Wednesday to talk some recruiting, and glad to have RD along for the conversation here in 2024. We're brought to you by Riley Farm Dental. At the entrance to Riley Farms, they provide every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry to braces to implants and cosmetics. 3 great doctors, Dr. Sparkman, Dr. Davis, Dr. Farmer, give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a more comfortable experience every time you visit. Riley Farm Dental is at 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, right at the entrance to Riley Farms. They now have same-day crowns available. So if you need a crown repaired, replaced, or installed, they can do that in the same day for you. 479-226-3500 for an appointment, 226-3500, or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
So we were talking during the break. The ratings came out for the college football playoff semifinals, and they averaged out a little over 24 million. The Bama-Michigan game averaged at over 27, and the Texas-Washington game averaged a little over 18. So there was a drop-off when you look at the two. They peaked. One peaked at over 32 million, which we saw Christmas Day and some NFL games were about that. So college football had a good chunk of people watching this.
I thought the numbers were strong. I mean, anyone would expect the second game to have fewer viewers.
But nearly 10 million is a pretty heavy
you
drop.
flip-flop those games, and the first game's going to outperform the second game. Number one, the first game was a better game. It was more competitive throughout. It had bigger brands going in, and it was with teams east of the Mississippi River. I mean, you put a game in that second game, it's A, it's later, and B, Washington's not the brand anywhere close to the other 3 brands of the 4 teams. I mean, anyone with the brain knows that kind of disparity was going to happen. So, I mean, I don't know why you'd be surprised.
It's not going to happen if they push the games back a little bit, but the Rose Bowl is refusal. And I think it's interesting is Herb Street and others, and I don't think it's a terrible idea, and I would be curious to your idea on this, is just having the national championship every year. I don't know. To me, I don't know if there's a huge appetite of moving the championship. I know there is for cities. I know there is for legislatures and businesses to try and get the said national championship there. But I kind of like the idea of Omaha being the site of the national championship every year. I know that Los Angeles is way out west where the Rose Bowl is, but I think it's the most significant maybe football stadium in the country. When you say, and I know it's older, but I don't hate that.
That's a personal preference, your personal taste. You know, the Rose Bowl is probably the most historic college football venue, but just a little ways down the road is a brand new stadium in SoFi that's got all the luxuries and is indoors. Now, you're never going to get bad weather in Pasadena, but it doesn't have the luxury boxes and all the amenities to make the extra money that most want. They just work around it because it's the Rose Bowl. I don't know that college football would want to do that every year.
I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't hate
nor should it
idea.
So
you don't?
No. Why should that game be sequestered to the West Coast every year? I get it's the granddaddy of them all, and I would love for the Razorbacks to play there someday. But the idea that that's where it's going to be every year, I think the game needs to grow by moving it around.
There's something special about, hey, we're going to Omaha, and I think you could say, hey, we're going to the Granddaddy Mall. I think that college football could play off that. Now, the next couple years have already been laid out. For example, the national championship next season is going to be in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, which, of course, has hosted the SEC championship for quite some time and is going to continue to do that. So there are great venues, more updated venues, like you said. I don't hate that idea of ending it in one place every year.
I don't hate it, but I'm not in love with it. Brought to you by APAC Arcola. They have immediate openings in Boone, Marion, Baxter, Benton, and Washington counties right now. If you're a licensed CDL driver, heavy equipment operator, a concrete finisher, a diesel mechanic, or you have experience paving asphalt or concrete, and you finish those off, They've got a job waiting on you. Go to jobs.crh.com. That's jobs.crh.com. Sign-on bonus benefits that include great insurance, retirement, profit sharing, all there as well. And again, you can apply online, see all the jobs that are available at jobs.crh.com. APAC Arcola is an equal opportunity employer.
You got games starting early this upcoming season. December the 20th, which is a Friday, will be the first round. Again, you're playing these games on campus, and you'll have a game on Saturday, December the 21st. You'll have 3 games that next day, so you're starting it early. I'm excited about how this process plays out next year. Arkansas is not going to be hosting one of these games. We know that as a top 12 team, but it is going to be really, because this will be the first time you've ever had postseason on a college campus. You've had it for basketball with the NIT, but this is much more significant. And I'm excited for this upcoming season.
I wonder how long that lasts, too, until that gets folded into the bowls, or do they realize there's more money to be made elsewhere, and they shift that. They could shift that without disrupting the format, significantly. So I think that won't last either. Hey, Oaklawn Sports is the best sports betting app in Arkansas, and it's brought to you by the brand you trust in Oaklawn. New funding options are now available, making depositing and withdrawing easier than ever. Sign up today and receive first bet insurance up to $250 with the College Football National Championship game coming up, NFL postseason coming up. You got the NHL and the NBA's regular season that's cranked up good. You can find all kinds of action on all the games you love, from in-game parlays to parlays and single checks. You can find alternate lines for each game, and you can even buy and sell up to 10 points. Bet with the brand you trust anywhere in Arkansas. Bet with Oaklawn Sports.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
Semaglutide and Teraziptide is a weight loss game changer. This is what the medical community is saying about the latest FDA-approved weight loss medication. Vici Aesthetics and Wellness is offering a detailed program to all of Arkansas and Missouri, in office or telemedicine visits available. To schedule your medical consultation and get started on the #1 prescription choice by medical providers for safe and effective weight loss, call or text 479-343-8424. 479-343-8424.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of Pradco Fishing in Fort Smith. If you're going to do some cold water bass fishing, you need to be using a Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. It's the best lure for duplicating a small school of shad and can be worked from the top of the water column to the bottom. Whether you're trying to win a bass tournament or whoop up on a bunch of white bass and stripers, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr. will catch them. Available at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place, the Umbrella Flash Mob Jr.
This is The Morning Rush.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news for the new year. Introducing Road Ready Certified used cars, inspected and certified with a comprehensive warranty. You simply can't buy a better used car. Road Ready Certified, only available at Rath Auto Resources. Another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag Technology without the headache.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco for hard work and the great outdoors.
With quality and price and comfort you like, and savings that you're looking for.
We've got the shoes and boots, steel toes too, outerwear and a whole lot more.
Head to toe, it's gotta be Jelco
for hard work and the great outdoors.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, beautiful sunshine. Our high temperatures today, upper 40s to low 50s. Clear and cold, mid to upper 20s tonight. See an increase in the cloud cover on Thursday. Our high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. We may see a little snow, especially across the north on Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Tally at the 40, midfield, at the UCF 40, the 30, Tally at the 20, the 10, the 5, touchdown Arkansas!
ESPN 95.3 and hitthatline.com. You're listening to The Morning Rush, live from the Busch Light Studios on ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith. This hour of The Morning Rush is brought to you by Bud Light, brewed with the best barley, rice, water, and hops to be America's favorite light beer. Bud Light, please drink responsibly.
That three-peat we've been talking about that hadn't happened since the 30s, just shows you how hard it is. Mm-hmm. And now that probably will stand beyond 100 years. I don't see Michigan going on a three-peat. Certainly don't see Washington doing that. And I don't think Alabama's in a position any longer to accomplish that or make a run at it. As great as Alabama's dynasty is and has been, they couldn't do it either.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios. Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Yes, sir. So as we start hour number 2 here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday, I guess Ozark Bob's beef is he feels like them moving to 12 teams in the college football playoffs starting this upcoming season will increase the matter of blowouts. Now, that remains to be seen. We will have to wait and see, but I do want to get into that coming up in just a bit. We got more What's Your Beefs to get into, we'll maybe jump back into the state conversation, plus some Arkansas football news as well.
Hey, coming up starting tomorrow, is the Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo tomorrow through the 7th at the Rogers Convention Center. Don't miss an unforgettable experience showcasing the best in boating and outdoor adventure. Wide variety of surf boats, pontoons, power boats, cruisers, bass and hunting boats, and a lot more. There'll be fishing guides on hand that you can book and talk to about great trips around the region of the area. Dock building manufacturers, outdoor furniture manufacturers, folks from marinas and resorts as well, so you can find out about all the great fishing spots around our state. Discover the latest gear, accessories, and gadgets to enhance your outdoor experience. And learn from experts. Test out the latest equipment and gain insight that will take your outdoor adventure to new heights. Don't miss the Northwest Arkansas Boat and Outdoor Expo, January 4th through the 7th at the Rogers Convention Center. It's where your next adventure begins.
This is the first time in 9 years that an SEC team is not featured in the national championship game. So it's been a while. You still had one in the college football playoff with Alabama, but we got Washington and we've got Michigan for all the marbles on Monday night at this point. I was thinking about what Ozark Bob texted in about the blowouts and whatnot. We have yet to have a season since the 14 playoff that 3 great games, 2 semifinals and a championship. Could happen this year. I think Michael Penix is the difference, and even as good as Michigan line is. One of the things, Tom, we hadn't talked about this week, you know who won the Joe Moore Award for the best offensive line in college football?
Michigan.
That would be, Washington.
Washington, okay.
So this is not exactly like, again, this is not a team that we've watched a good chunk of. It's strength on strength. It's the best defensive line maybe in all of college football versus the best offensive line in college football. And you got a better quarterback in Penix versus McCarthy. So, again, hoping for a good game at this point. What I wonder is, and I don't know if it's necessarily been like this lately because I do think we've had some good Super Bowls, but for a while, I felt like the Super Bowls in my lifetime were always duds. Like, there'd be good playoffs, and then you get to Super Bowl, and they were just blowouts, so they just weren't good games. And there's been some of those, but I feel like last decade or so we've had some good games. Is it more important to have a great buildup of quarterfinals, semifinals, or is it just important to have a great national championship game? Because I don't think you're necessarily going to get both because the last decade has told us we're not. So is it more important to have a collection of good games leading up to that point or to have bad games and blowouts and to have a good championship? Because, again,
then why expand if you're not going to have good product? It'd be like saying, well, instead of it, let's have a great 2-course meal and both courses are going to be awesome, or we're going to have a 5-course meal and the first 3 are going to stink. Well, no one wants to, I don't want to, why have these extra games if they're not going to be any good?
Well, it's money.
Well, is it putting more money in your pocket?
No, but
mine? Anyone listening getting a check off this deal?
The reason they're doing that is because of money.
Why? Duh. I don't need that explained to me. I'm just saying you're asking from the consumer experience, the consumer standpoint. People texting in, we're just sitting at home watching on the couch like anybody else. Mm-hmm. You want to sign up for more mediocre blowout games? Now, I think just the assumption that they're going to be blowouts is maybe a step too far. Depending on who the games would be. And keep in mind, now, here's one thing I don't like about it. They're not going to be truly seeded 1 through 12. Mm-hmm. But the conference champions get those byes in 1 through 4. I don't think that's right. I think they ought to just take the 4 best teams, give them the byes, regardless of conference, and put them in there. And then let it play out 5 through 12. Because that's what's going to lead to the blowouts, because you're protecting conference champions that, that 4th conference champion probably isn't as good as the number 2 team from the Big Ten or the SEC.
Does it water down the product a little bit as far as
if
you think about
Absolutely.
The playoffs and other sports,
it's the definition of watered down.
MLB, NBA, there's always games and series where you're just not very interested.
We've been talking about steaks and things like that throughout the morning. What's better, the center cut of a tenderloin, the center cut filet, or a piece off the edge? The answer is the center cut.
So based on that, you're saying the national championship end result is more important than every bit of the build up to that point, in your opinion? Do you think we're going to get both? Because
we haven't
past
yet.
history, that's
we haven't yet. So no, I don't think we're going to get both.
That's what I'm saying at this point. And I think
I don't think the interest in those first round games, unless it's your team or maybe a team from your conference, is going to be as heightened as people think they will be.
Unless a 12 seed or something wins it. I mean, that might
odds of that
could happen, but I guess
football. I mean, I'm not saying there aren't upsets because we see upsets happen, but football's the hardest sport to pull an upset. Don't you agree? Because I mean, it's still you got to go out there and physically whip that guy across the line for 60 minutes. That's hard to do. That's hard. That's what creates the upset. That's what's hard to do.
So when you think about how the football, baseball, and basketball is set up, I would say that basketball-wise is probably football still is probably the setup for how you get to a championship still determines probably the best team, but has it been helped or hurt by the fact that you've added more teams? Baseball's the hardest because the number one seed, again, hasn't won it since 99.
Baseball's the hard comparison because you don't have a rotation of quarterbacks. Like, you know, the sport's just so different because you don't have your best pitcher going every night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes it just comes down to who's up in the rotation and where you're at. I mean, I have a hard time comparing baseball just because of the nature of the game.
So will this, again, the moving to 12, will this amplify blowouts based on, like, for example, Liberty got rocked. It's the best group of 5 team against, I don't know, the 6th or 7th best Power 5 team, got obliterated by Oregon. Is that
but how many? I mean, and I don't know the answer. How many opt-outs were there? How many did everyone play?
Liberty. I mean, I think Liberty was pretty much good, and Oregon was not, and that just goes to show your Florida State in the opt-outs standpoint. You got to again balance that equation and whatnot. But what I'm hoping for is that we'll have a collection of both. But what I think is going to ultimately happen is you're going to see more blowouts in the quarterfinals and semifinals and a better national championship game, but the build-up's not going to be great, which will then hurt that said national championship.
Let me just tell you the truth. What's going to happen, those first 4 games, 2 of them will be good, 2 of them will be blowouts. That's just the nature of how games are going to get played out. Hey, there's no better place to watch games, whether it's the postseason or the NFL games or whatever you're into right now, college basketball, then it's Sassy's Barbecue in Fayetteville. Enjoy their award-winning smoked wings, baby back ribs, the famous nachos, drink specials while the hogs are on. You can do that, too. You can dine in or outside on the patio on these nice winter weather days. It's a great time to be outside. Sassy's Red House on College, Sassy's Barbecue off Weddington, both there to serve you during all the big sporting events. And let Sassy's cater your tailgate party with a Razor Pack. You can order those online at sassysbbq.com. Hey, when it comes to barbecue, catfish, burgers, and more, nobody does it better than Sassy's. Eat, drink, and be sassy.
Hey, everybody, this is Joe Tessitore from ABC and ESPN, and you are listening to The Morning Rush.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
Keep your family safe? Gaston's White River Resort is located on the beautiful White River. They offer private accommodations in their lodges and cabins. Most cabins have a fully equipped kitchen or let their restaurant staff deliver to your cabin. Call 870-431-5202 and change your plans to Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's White River Resort, a first-class time every time.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
It's time for the Red River Dodge Morning Rush Daily Question. Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
The court will wait for an answer.
So we've been talking about the Harbaughs this morning, and John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens host the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. He was asked about, hey, Lamar Jackson, personnel, what are you going to do for this weekend, Coach? Here was his response.
I have not made a decision on any personnel yet. We got to kind of work through the injury part of it first, and that'll take us probably 24 to 48 hours to get a real handle on that. Then we'll make those decisions. We're not going to keep it a secret, Jameson. We'll let you know what we're going to do once we start practicing.
This is a tough job if you're a head coach, whether it's college or it's the NFL. In college, it's like when you're blowing a team out to a certain degree, when do you pull them guys out to make sure that they stay healthy for that next game, especially if it gets closer in postseason or if it is in the postseason. And for NFL coaches who have locked up, let's say, the number one seed in the AFC like the Ravens have, what do you do in this situation? So I posed that question to you, our Morning Rush daily question presented by Red River Dodge. Tommy, we've talked about the high school side of things. Sometimes as the higher seed, you don't get that benefit because you get the week off and you're rusty and you come back and you think about them having that first round bye in addition to maybe not playing this game this weekend, the starters. I mean, how do you go about what is the proper way of going about doing this in your opinion?
Oh, I don't – yeah, that's probably above my pay grade, but I think sometimes getting out of your rhythm, out of your routine is more harmful than good. Now, you know, if you find yourself in a key or in a spot where you got a key injury and you need that time to rehab an ankle or something, that can be the unusual benefit. But I just think getting out of your routine at this point in the process generally is a detriment.
I think Lamar is – I mean, if without Lamar, you're not going to win a Super Bowl. You want him on the field even if he is rusty. So I think you be cautious with it and you sit him out a game. Yeah. And you put him, you take your chances with him even if he is rusty.
Not even play a quarter, not even play a half. See, that's where I stand on this. I think you play someone maybe a quarter,
you
half.
either play or you don't play.
At all? That's where you stand?
Yeah.
I think you got to play a little bit. I don't like the idea of sitting out.
So how do you handle the practice process with Lamar and then I don't know, who's the backup there that's going to play? I mean,
don't know if it's Tyler Huntley or who's.
Yeah, so how do they get enough snaps? And the game of football, you got 11 guys that got to be on not only the same sheet of music, but the same note, every play to make it work. I mean, you're at a point where there's not a lot of intense practice time. So I think you go one way or the other. And if he's not able to go, you got to give all those practice snaps to a guy that probably doesn't get much during the year. And you're at a point in the year where you don't have a lot of practice snaps anyway.
Even if the game is completely irrelevant to how you shape up in the playoffs?
I keep answering the question. If you're not, you got to go one way or the other. You ask my opinion, that's what you got to do. I don't know how you can have a foot in each circle. You got to be all in one way or the other.
This is from Joe and Jasper. As a coach, I will tell you if an injury is going to happen, it's going to happen. Doesn't matter what game it is. It doesn't matter if it's a pickup game or if they're playing outside. If they're going to get hurt, they're just going to get hurt. So let people play. Again,
I tend to agree with that.
That's from Joe and Jasper to this point. I've come from this perspective. I just know that from guys I've talked to that they don't like waiting that length, and you get rusty, you get jittery, and again, I would just play a little bit. That's where I come from when it comes to that setup and standpoint. For whenever the playoffs come around, this is something that NFL coaches have to deal with that a lot of times college coaches don't have to deal with.
And was it the Patriots? I think it's one of the Tom Brady Patriots teams that basically they pulled a ton of starters in a game that was meaningless. Maybe you let them go out there and have a series or two, and then if you're not going to care about the outcome at all, you just run a lot of backups. The problem is when you got a 53-man roster, it's not like you take 22 off the field. You just got to have a football team.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as it sounds. This isn't an 85-man college roster. This is a 53-man pro roster.
Yep. And that is, again, your Morning Rush Daily Question presented by Red River Dodge.
Red River Dodge in Heber Springs, Arkansas's #1 Ram dealer. Log on at redriverdodge.com.
All right, so I have a beef this morning here on a What's Your Beef Wednesday. And someone else has a beef. David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers. I'll tell you his story coming up in just a bit. But when we get to new parts of the year and 2024. A lot of you have resolutions to get in the gym. Well, I'm no longer at the gym I was formerly at. I'm at another one. So I had to cancel that said gym. And it is the most convoluted, complicated, over-the-top process that you just want to be able to walk in.
I want to quit the gym.
And say that, have them sign a sheet of paper, and be done.
Let me guess. You sign up for auto draft.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
And
that's why I never do that.
I had
exactly what you're talking about.
I had to get a sheet from the front desk lady. Then I had to email the account that said, all right, we'll get back to you in a week. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. I called the customer service center, waited 5 minutes, had to drop explicatives to make sure it was not automated, and I'd actually talk to a customer service person. Then I talked to him, cancel the account, I thought, get the email that's saying, hey, once the final payment goes through, you should be canceled as long as the final payment is paid in full. It should just be one of those things where you go to the front desk, you swipe the card for one final time, or you cancel the account, and you're done. But this is the most painful way to end a relationship.
My wife got involved in one of these tanning deals one time, same deal where you had to have it auto drafted from your checking account, and it took 3 months. Yeah, I had to go down and raise some hell about that because they charged for 2 more months. Oh, well, we forgot. Well, convenient. Well, I need my money. Well, she still has the membership of it. We don't want the membership. We didn't. That's why we canceled it. When she got pregnant, we didn't need tanning any longer.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is why I have a personal policy that I do not do auto drafts. It costs me a little bit more, fine, because when someone else is in charge of the payment, they set the process up where it makes it just entirely impossible to get out of the relationship.
If the final payment is not received by due date, the account will remain active and continue to incur charges until the balance is paid in full. All unpaid balances could be transferred to a collection agency. Now, here's the question I have.
But you're trying to pay the balance. You're just trying to end the relationship.
And here's the next piece of the process. If you are scheduled for a dues or fee withdrawal, we will use the current information on file. So that means they're going to auto draft it one final time and I'm done. Is that how you read that said statement?
Well, I don't do those things.
Did you not have to do it for like a certain time period? I know they do. Like, you got to sign up for a
contract,
6 month or a 12 month. I think that's why they do that, obviously. So
there's no contract. You have to pay that initial fee, and then there's a yearly fee. I think this is my second year of doing it. I'm just hoping for the final time, $21.83 is withdrawal from my account, and I have marked down to check at the time that it's supposed to be paid or not paid in February, and if it's pulled again, like you, I'm going to have to
good luck.
Raise hell. But I mean, it's
good luck.
It is the most.
At least it's only $21.
Yeah, it's the most annoying thing possible when you're trying to end something. You
think that's by accident?
No, it's not by accident. Everything, again, they're trying to trick you. It's kind of like ESPN Plus. Like when we talk about ESPN Plus and SEC Network Plus, people think that they have to buy an extra service just to watch the Arkansas Razorbacks on streaming, when in reality, if you have a dish or cable or any type of YouTube TV subscription, all you have to do is insert your credentials and you're good to go. But they try and force something else down your throat.
The last gym I was at, they wanted me to send them like a bill from my new address to prove that I wasn't even living there again. Like the stipulation was I had, like, if I moved out of the town, and I did, but man, I sure had to prove it, man.
I just tell you, don't ever get involved in one of these auto draft deals out of your checking account.
Yeah,
just don't do it.
B in Clarksville asking if I can expense the membership. I probably could for health and wellness to make sure I come on air every day, but I don't. John in Centerton texting.
You may already have a better deal on the new one.
Yeah. John in Charleston texting on the McCarty Daniel hotline. Say, call your bank and stop the payment on the account.
Try that. I've done.
Oh, does it not work?
Nope. The bank can't stop it.
I guess it's like if you sign that, whatever.
Yep.
That's apparently Sirius XM, Sean says, is the worst about that. That's why you listen to us, Sean.
Well, if you got to do, my opinion, my advice is that anything you got to do that's auto drafted or auto paid, and you can't avoid it anymore, do it to a credit card. Particularly in American Express, because they're the best about getting your back when something's not right.
Something about that. I see.
When you just need to dispute a charge.
I've really, Tommy, never had any issues on auto draft stuff. The only time I really had issues was when that person hacked my account and bought a bicycle, and what did they buy? I don't remember something explicit toy, and you were messing with me about that, saying, "Why did you buy that?" It was a bike and something else.
Yeah.
But that's the only really issue I've had. When it comes to something withdrawing from my account. Every auto pay that I've done over the years, I just look at.
Here's the problem. You're finding out the problem with it now. You don't have control.
The cancellation. Well, I'm hoping.
When it comes to my checking account, I want total control.
Chance in Clarksville said that his wife has a membership to a fitness place, and they've been trying to cancel it for 3 months, and they have been unsuccessful at this point. Tyler Greenwood saying it's highway robbery. how people go about those. So now I may rethink.
Maybe it's treadmill
He said
robbery.
3 years.
Oh,
Chance
3
from
years.
Clarksville said 3 years.
So maybe it's maybe I rethink this whole auto pay. But I mean, I have auto pay for my phone bill, which has never had an issue.
I've got all
Auto-
those, like my internet, my phone, and all that stuff goes to my American Express.
Okay, so you have it, but you don't have it connected to your
My checking account.
You have it connected to your credit card, which you
Right.
get points for.
Get points, but I can also dispute the charge, and they'll take it off.
Okay.
If I have the proof of why I'm disputing it.
Have you ever, and this is this might put you or Big C in a bad light, have you ever disputed a charge that you bought? Have you ever gone to a said location, out of town or whatever, restaurant, bar, whatever it was, bought something, and then disputed that it was
Why would I
you?
do that?
Just asking you if you've done
No.
that before.
I don't know why
Big
I would
C, have
ever
you ever
do
done
that.
that before? So you can recoup that money of any sort?
No, I've done maybe something similar before, but I was desperate. I don't think I've done that. If I don't remember, I probably
So it
haven't.
sounds like you have. So why?
I have not. I do know some Morning Rush listeners that have run up a spree at a certain place and then disputed and said that was not them at this point. I have not personally done that. I have not lied to Capital One or Wells Fargo about my whereabouts or about my spending habits. I have swiped that card and I have paid them back. But I have not gone about doing that. But I do know that is something that some people do because a lot of times.
Oh, I know some people that have got caught up in, places that let's just say, didn't improve your reputation. Would be a nice way of putting it.
What if, like, your kid?
A place that you would go to at night that might not improve your reputation, that have put charges on their company credit card and then tried to come up with a fictitious story to say, oh, it wasn't me. And then, it seems like there's cameras everywhere anymore.
It's funny how that works.
And when you dispute these charges, they pull up the camera. Well, here's the person that signed the ticket. Here's them on camera. Well, that picture's you, Ty. Oh, well.
I guess it was me.
Now my memory's a little less clouded. Well, it sounds like you lied,
It's funny how that works. Joe and Centerton, back to the bank thing. Apparently, as someone that works in the bank, they can stop the automatic payment. They just ask you to try and cancel it yourself first on that. So now, if you want to go back to your checking account, which it doesn't sound like you
all
do.
of that sounds like a major hassle. Sucking up time I don't have to give. Just don't do it to begin with.
It did take way longer. It took 30.
I don't have extra time.
It took 30 minutes in a process that should have taken 2.
No, don't have the time for that nonsense.
So that, again, is my beef. The fact that a gym membership cancellation took me so much longer than it should have had.
Have you ever been, like, double charged or something, and you're like, I don't even want to worry about this, whatever?
Oh, yeah. When it's not enough to it's not enough to merit my time.
What's not enough to merit your time?
$10. I mean, I'll get it stopped, but I'm not going to go fist fight you over $10.
Yeah.
$20 probably.
Mm-hmm.
Just get it stopped. I don't have the time, nor the patience to deal with the hassle. 20 is probably my cap on that, though.
If it goes above 20, then you're
probably. 25 for sure, okay? 25 is where I'm stopping.
Okay. Anything below. Hey, Chaz in Fayetteville says he knew a guy that went out on Dixon Street one time, spent $800 on his parents' credit card, then the next morning claimed it got stolen and it worked. Chaz in Fayetteville, your friend, hopefully pays penance for his sins for doing that in line.
It's called bank fraud, I believe.
Yeah. Hog Caller in Huntsville said he was double charged for over a year for his Hulu account. Do you
double charge? How do you not notice that for a year?
Maybe he had an extra package that he didn't know about, or an extra edition. You were
Well,
talking
but how
about,
do you not notice that on your statement?
Evidently,
It's because you people don't read your statements, do you?
I mean, I do. I
You
don't know why
balance your
you're-
checkbook.
you're
You reconcile your bank statement on a monthly basis.
No, we've talked about this. I look at my bank statement pretty much every day or
What are
every
the
other
bank?
day.
What are the statements wrong?
See, I got a Venus. I know you don't have one of these, but I have a Venus flytrap memory. So like numbers, I know it's listen, it's
right.
It's something you wish you had, but you don't
Right,
have. So when something appears on that said statement, I can remember what
You've
it
never
actually
looked at
was.
a bank statement in your life.
It's literally the Regions accounts right here, but it's okay.
No. I'm talking printed statement.
I mean, I print it out for tax purposes and various other things, but I don't
Your
make
bank,
a
your checking accounts. So
I don't-
why would you need that for tax purposes?
We talked about bank statements and stuff. There's various things that I've had to print out to not expense, but write off and other stuff. But no, I don't make a habit of doing that. I just look at my bank
statement will not serve as a receipt, sir, with the IRS. I can assure you of that.
Yeah. Well, you figure out what needs to be expensed, you circle it, and then you find that said receipt, and then you give it to your accountant.
You are talking in circles is what you're doing.
It's legitimate. You asked if I had a bank statement. I told you.
No, do you reconcile it on a regular basis?
I told you no.
I'm telling you, people under the age of 35 wouldn't know where to begin with that.
Well, I've seen my dad do it. I mean, it's not. You're acting like it's.
I've watched surgery. I've watched brain surgery on TV. Doesn't mean I could begin to do that either.
You're acting like it's overly complicated. It's not that. What you do is not that hard. I just don't do it. There's a difference between not doing something, not knowing it.
It's not often, but 2 or 3 times a year you'll find a bank error in your favor generally. So,
thank you, Regions.
Or you'll find more than likely a bank error or an error that's my fault. Where I think it's one thing and it's really another. So, anyway. So, speaking of gyms, you want a place to work out, and I think this is where you're headed now, is the Hangout, Fort Smith's newest fitness center and much more. It's the old Fort Smith Athletic Club. Some even still call it the Racket Club. That's where it's at 5400 Gary Street. They make membership easy. And at the Hangout, you're going to find not only the nicest fitness center in town. You've been in there. You've looked at it. It's the best. 8,000 square feet. It's all new equipment. It's rarely crowded. And when I mean crowded, you're not going to wait on a piece of equipment. You don't have to wait your turn to get on a treadmill or a bike or to use the bench press or something of that nature. They got plenty of equipment, and there's never a big wait. Plus, they have indoor pickleball, tennis, and racquetball as well. So if you're looking for a different option that's less hassle, think about the Hangout. It's the place to be. It's be part of something different, something better that Fort Smith has needed. Fitness, sports, and more. It's the Hangout. Find out more about memberships and their affordable plans. It's available online at thehangoutfs.com. That's thehangoutfs.com for more information. Or stop in and sign up today at 5400 Gary Street in Fort Smith.
So there's 2 non-conference SEC basketball games last night where Tennessee took on Norfolk State in Thompson-Boling Arena, and then Auburn took on Penn in the Jungle at this point. Now, Auburn has got a lot of guys returning from last year. Brome is going to be probably an all-SEC center. You've got K.D. Johnson, the former transfer for Georgia. You just never know about him. Chris Moore, Arkansas kid, West Memphis kid. He's better than he's been. Their backup center, Dylan Cardwell's back. Corey Williams is actually on staff there, former Arkansas assistant coach. But as I was watching this game last night, I was reminded about how much I dislike both Bruce Pearl and Rick Barnes, but for different reasons. Now, in the SEC coaches rankings, I still have the least liked, and it's closer than it's ever been. Number 1 is still John Calipari, my least favorite SEC coach, most annoying. Nate Oates, though, has surged ahead to number 2, and he's on Cal's heels. Pearl's 3, Rick regular season, Barnes is number 4, and then Buzz Williams' sweaty tail is number 5. Is Cal still 1 on your list?
I think Cal's reputation is larger than the reality of Cal, particularly over the last 5 years. I think he's probably still number 1 in most people's mind, but it's based on history, not based on current day and recent results. And I don't know that Cal has become less. I think everybody else has become more. I think that the gap has closed. I think for a while it was John Calipari and 12 or 13 other coaches in this league.
Yeah.
And now it's John Calipari and a bunch of other Hall of Famers or future Hall of Famers in the sport as well.
Miss the hatred for Will Wade, who's no longer in this league, because he was if he was not 2, he was 2 or 3 in Arkansas fans' minds, the irritation factor at this point. When Arkansas will host Kentucky at the end of the month, if I had to bet, Calipari's going to be at Herman's that Friday night, like he likes to often does.
He likes to go see Nick and Carey.
And featuring in. And I've never actually been there when he stops by, but I am curious the reception, because like you said, the larger the life figure, I just don't necessarily like. I think there's a difference between Cal and Saban. I hate Saban because he wins, but I have the deepest respect for him. I just don't like Cal.
Do you think?
And
well, I was going to ask you, Calipari in basketball is probably the most hated by Arkansas fans, but in football, has Drinkowitz somewhat come close to Saban in that aspect? I mean, we all hate Saban, but I mean, like you said earlier, 3 years without a national title. Yes, they're still good. They were in the playoff. I mean, but now we've got somebody else to worry about that we can't seem to beat. That's a whole nother can of worms. But
yeah, I'm trying to draw that analogy there, or connect those dots between the two. But with Drinkwitz that you threw in there, but I think it's different than Saban. Because Saban has, you said it's been 3 years without a title, but he's been to essentially the Final Four. How many of the last 3 years? Obviously this year, 3? 2 of the 3? Can't remember. Your memory's better on that stuff. But
yeah, 2 of the 3.
2 of the 3. Yeah.
3 years ago they made it and lost to Georgia. Last year they did not make it.
When's Kentucky's last Final Four?
2014, I think, when they lost to Connecticut.
And here's the difference. Kentucky didn't make the field that 1 year and lost to
Robert Morris.
Robert Morris in the NIT. Those are not the kind of things that happen to Alabama football. I mean, Saban's getting hammered over not winning the national title in 3 years by some, which I think is ridiculous. What Kentucky basketball has done and what Alabama football has done is, to me, two totally separate things.
Well, college football has caught up with Nick Saban.
I'd agree with that. But he hasn't slid back a lot.
So the better way to frame it is that college football has closed the gap rather than Saban losing. Is that
I would say that's right.
Well, either way, I'm happy because 3 years without an Alabama national title, and Angel just got its wings. Because I have the most Alabama fatigue of, I think, anyone in college sports. I would rather Nick Saban not end his career without a title.
Hey, let me take a minute to tell you about my friends at Gaston's White River Resort. Their number is 870-431-5202. February fishing is just weeks away. If you have not booked a trip with one of the expert guides at Gaston's for some of that early to mid-February fishing, you need to get on the horn now and get that done. Some of the best fishing of the year is right here after February 1 when those big browns and big rainbows start making their way to different parts of the river. And I'm going to tell you, when the part above State Park reopens, it is a great time of the year to fish on the White River. There's no better place to stay. There's no better roster of guides to show you the best time than what you're going to find at Gaston's White River Resort. 870-431-5202. Book your trip now for February at Gaston's White River Resort. Gaston's, a first-class time every time.
You're good at what you do. I appreciate you having me on.
This is the Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
This ad is for the paint store in Van Buren. I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So for football, you need a team. For painting, you might need a primer, the perfect color, maybe a top coat, and bug juice to keep the spiders and bugs away, right? So it takes a team of products to make the winning paint job. The right place for that is in Van Buren at the paint store, and the right place for certified grass-fed beef from M&M Farms in Rudy. That's right, all at 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
If you've lived in the River Valley for a while, you know about the great reputation of Jam Mart. And their newest location at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith is open. Stop by for coffee, gas, beer, snacks, ices, and a clean restroom every time. Don't forget about the hot deli and fresh-made burgers. Now 7 locations in Fort Smith, Greenwood, Boonville, Ozark, and Danville. Sign up for their loyalty program for discounts throughout the stores. Jam Mart, the leading convenience store and gas station in the region.
If you knew all that Jody's Auto Service Centers can do for your vehicle and you'd never take your vehicle anywhere else.
My fleet is small, 14 trucks and cars. It's a struggle every day with parts, employees, and scheduling, but one thing I never worry about is vehicles. Jody's has special fleet pricing, special in and out service, or free shuttle and pickup and delivery service. And they do everything, service, repair, and maintenance. That makes my life much easier. All my vehicles go to Jody's.
Latest technology and highly trained technicians means we could do it all. From the most highly technical repairs to everyday oil change specials, tires, everything, even diesels. Jody'sAuto.com schedule free shuttle service or pickup and delivery. Get a tire quote, get financing. Jody's Auto Service Centers, voted best of the best by our customers year after year. We're your neighbors since 1984 with 3 full-service locations in Fort Smith and Van Buren. See for yourself at JODYSauto.com.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson for Papa's Pub and Pizzeria. I want to talk about their pizza today. The Goob Special with extra pepperoni and rib rub on top. The Parm Special with double mushroom and jalapenos. Don't forget about the bacon cheeseburger and everyone's favorite, the old trash can. Swing on by Papa's Pub and Pizzeria at 508 Garrison Avenue in downtown Fort Smith or give them a call at 479-783-9941. Papa's Pub and Pizzeria, the best darn pizza in Fort Smith, perhaps the world.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One is a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Arkansas football. It's the players running through the A. Hog hats. It's more than 70,000 fans calling Woo Pig Suey.
Oh, yes, sir.
Guys, I've got just one thing I want to say to you. Touchdown, Arkansas!
Arkansas wins the national championship! The Arkansas Razorbacks have completed the dream season!
This is your Hog Update on the Morning Rush. Brought to you by Mr. Sparky. Need a licensed electrician to service your home? For one of their local pros, call 888-8-SPARKY.
Former Kentucky and Texas A&M wide receiver Jordan Anthony has committed to the Arkansas Razorbacks. A track guy, is under 6 feet, got a lot of speed to him. Talked with Richard Davenport about him a little bit earlier in the program. If you missed that, you can go to our Bud Light Morning Rush podcast. I know I'm excited to see what kind of a role he factors in with this equation. We'll have to wait and see if he is, again, a significant contributor for this year's team. Auburn Tigers on television last night. You, of course, play them this Saturday at 1 o'clock, ESPN 2, 12:30, pregame coverage beginning with Chuck and Z courtside. Excited about that. It is a stripe out, Tommy. They did announce that it is a stripe out this Saturday. They've got it on social. I don't know if the proper way to get this, because, I mean, again, for me, X or Twitter, or one of you call it, I see stuff on that daily, but for a good chunk of our audience who doesn't have social media, you just email them. It's a stripe out. What's the best way of getting the message out with stuff like this? Is email the best way to go about it?
I don't know, because what you're talking about are fans probably over a certain age, maybe over the age of 60. That how do you communicate with them about what color to wear in each section. I don't. Maybe you email maybe you tweet their grandkids so the grandkids can tell them, or their great grandkids. I don't know, but yeah, I think that's always a problem. And if you really want it done right, and this isn't the kind of game that you're going to go all out, you provide everyone the towel, the shirt, the whatever for their section that you want to make at least the lower bowl look the way it should.
Mm-hmm.
You really can't tell the upper level what it looks like on TV because it's so dark up there. But if you want the lower level to have a certain appearance, then you better probably provide the product you want them to wear.
Snacks Johnson announced that he is coming back for another season with the Arkansas Razorbacks. That's the world of college sports we live in, that guys that even you expected to come back have to make an announcement because others speculate that, is he transferring? Is he doing this? Is he doing that? And that's what you have to do at this point. Last thing here, Ricky Council, IV, made his debut for the Philadelphia 76ers last night. Congrats to Ricky. You've had several rookies that have played for different NBA teams this weekend. Anthony Black, though, probably the most notable, the way that he's really stood out for the Orlando Magic at this point. That'd be fun. If you're in the Florida area, which we have some listeners down there, getting a chance to watch AB play, I think would be a definite treat at some point this season. That's going to do it for your Hog Update. It is brought to you by our friends at Mr. Sparky.
You don't have to put up with any malarkey. Call 888-8-SPARKY.
I know for me, I am eyeing to go see the Oklahoma City Thunder play the Washington Wizards. I could see 3 Razorbacks. That's on February the 23rd. It's a Friday night in the Paycom Center. You've got Isaiah Joe, Jalen Williams, and Daniel Gafford. So 3 former Razorbacks that will be suiting up at this point in time. We're going to get a chance to talk with Clay Henry, a bunch of football stuff coming up in just a bit. The Hall of Famer back with us another year in 2024. I referenced the Tennessee and Auburn games last night. You kind of have a contrast with 2 arenas, Tommy. You've got the Jungle, which I think is a little over 10,000 people. It was built in 2011. It's a newer arena versus Thompson Bowling, which is a little bit older, more Bud Walton-ish. It's one of the only 2 venues in the SEC that has a bigger arena than you. Rupp and Thompson Bowling are the only bigger at this point. And last night, I just found myself again wanting them to keep Bud Walton the way it is. I just don't want, every time I watch these big arenas or these small arenas, as cool as some of these small arenas are, like Foster Pavilion, the new Baylor Arena. My uncle was at last night. 7,500 people. Great. Not a bad seat in the house. But and I know the plans have at least been presented. I know we hadn't talked about that. I just hope they don't. One of my beefs is if they ultimately knock off 2,000 or 2,500 seats in Bud Walton, which I think they're ultimately going to do. But I'm definitely still going to be frustrated about that.
How many full houses have you had in the last 5 or 10 years, though, where every seat was used?
Duke, Auburn, I think one of the Kentucky games. I mean,
I've been to even the Duke game and all the ones I've been to recently is the only one where Upper Deck Corners was even full. Now, were there 2,500 open seats for Kentucky last year? I don't know, or Alabama? Probably not. But, even some of the more high-profile games, the upper reaches of the arena still don't fill up. It's all about money. It's all about premium seating. It's all about the fact that some of the worst venue or the worst sight lines to watch in that venue is the suites. And that doesn't work any longer in today's game. So they're just trying to modernize. And I'm with you. I hate to see a smaller arena, but if it's 17,000 versus 19,000, it's still going to be imposing.
I just hate that the idea that they are going to change. And I know it's, been around for 20 some odd years, but
30. Bud Walton's 30 years old.
93. I guess the opener, the television home opener against Missouri, where you thrashed the Tigers that night. Yeah, I'm watching it, and again, the smaller venues are really cool and they look awesome. I just don't, and the money, like you said, the money aspect, and I'll point to something that you said earlier. I don't care about the money. Kind of like when we were talking about you asked me why the college football plans, why should I channel? It's the money. You said, I don't care about that. Well, I don't care about the money. I don't think fans care about the money. You're going to take away.
Yeah, but we talk out both sides of our mouth on that. We care about the money when it comes to NIL. We care about the money that you need to get the players.
Well, this money's not, unless NIL changes, the money that you're going to be getting will have no way, shape, or form have any effect on NIL. because you can't
That's
use
all
it.
going to change at some point.
You think it is? You think
That's
that
what
proposal?
the NCAA is pushing. Yeah.
Well, Baker's proposing it. That doesn't mean it's going to go through.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
How quick do you think it is going to happen?
I don't know. I mean, 3 years, 5. I don't know. 2 years. I don't know the answer to that. But that's the path we're headed because you can't raise enough private money. So to compete and with the guidelines there are today, you're going to have to open up some of the general operating funds to be funneled to NIL. It's going to have to happen.
I still don't like it.
Well,
even though that
duly noted.
that the product makes sense. I still you don't seem to care though. You're okay.
I think it takes it's good for Arkansas because we're never going to be able to raise enough until someone with a last name Walton decides, hey, I'm tired of us stinking. We're going to be good, and I'm going to see to it.
Or Jones.
Perhaps. But the Waltons have more – I don't want to get off into this, but they've got more collective wealth than any of them. I mean, we can't fathom how much just the dividend revenue off their Walmart stock is on a quarterly basis. I mean, it's enough. It's larger than the GDP of a small country. I mean, they could peel off several million a year, and you'd never miss. They wouldn't even know it's gone. But it's their money. It's easy to sit here and spend someone else's money. But until you get someone to put that kind of money on a regular basis or to fund you an endowment that's several $100 million to generate enough to kick off $10 or $15 million a year properly invested, then I feel like you're stuck, at least in today's world of how the game is played. There's got to be a way to open up more funds. I'm for it because I think it benefits Arkansas because you got to figure out a way to open a can of additional revenue to fund NIL.
For football, because it doesn't seem like you're struggling in basketball or baseball.
We've got to get an edge.
What do you mean struggling? We're talking about maybe not making the tournament this year in basketball. What do you mean not struggling?
I mean, I would say that from an NIL standpoint, Arkansas, if you ask people in the know, they're probably not struggling. We don't fully know, but I don't think that is going to be the issue that NIL cost this team an NCAA tournament berth. I don't think anyone thinks that. Do you think that? NIL,
I know we're sitting here early January wondering if this team's going to win enough SEC games to make the tournament.
It's not because you weren't able to get those said players. It's because those said players aren't necessarily executing.
Well, maybe there's better players out there. Hey, Clay Henry coming up. The Fence Man is the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates. They're looking for people to join their team to help build more of these great fencing projects. If you got construction experience, fence building experience, or you want to work for a great company that does this, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man's a great company with plenty of work, and I think you're going to love working with the Fence Man. 782-3936 is their number, or apply in person, 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators. WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Home is everything. It's your sanctuary, your command center, your music room, and your art studio. It's where you eat family dinners and make lasting memories. When you use a Weichert agent to help you find your home, we'll help you find the space to make it yours. When you begin your search, know that a Weichert agent will be there with you every step of the way. Because at Weichert Realtors, we guide you home. To get started, call your local Weichert agent and look for our bright yellow signs all over town. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
This is the Morning Rush.
I know we're always on the go, heading to Fayetteville, Little Rock, Oklahoma City, and you need a place to fill up. But not just for gas. I need snacks, drinks, and a restroom that doesn't make me throw up. That's why my new favorite pit stop is Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue on the way out of town. I can't stop by without getting something from their hot box or a fresh-made burger. That's Jam Mart number 10, located at 6201 Grand Avenue in Fort Smith.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. When you've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi folks, Larry Rath here for Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center with exciting news for the new year. Introducing Road Ready Certified used cars, inspected and certified with a comprehensive warranty. You simply can't buy a better used car. Road Ready Certified, only available at Rath Auto Resources. Another reason why all the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, just north of Phoenix on Towson, Fort Smith.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
There's big news in the mobile sports betting business. Bet Saracen was just named the 15th largest sportsbook in America. That's because Arkansans like to do business with a winner. Find all your winners on Bet Saracen. Download it today and look for my RR prop bet specials. I pick them, you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Tired of constant computer issues at work? And who knows what the real problem is? Is it the router? No, it's the hardware. Wait, they said it was the software. Call Hashtag Managed IT Services. Their multifaceted approach to IT support guarantees that everything is working at optimum performance. And Hashtag prevents the small problems from becoming big issues. Hashtag Managed IT Services in Van Buren. 479-802-4978. That's 479-802-4978. Hashtag technology without the headache.
Tired of spending all your hard-earned cash at the gas pump right now? Wheeler Power Sports is here to help you out. They have a giant selection of motorcycles and scooters to help maximize fuel efficiency. There are over 50 scooters in stock right now, with some getting up to 100 miles per gallon. Wheeler also has a great selection of motorcycles from the Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Kimco. Check out their full inventory at WheelerPowersports.com or check out their showroom in person at 901 North 11th Street near downtown Fort Smith. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, beautiful sunshine. Our high temperatures today, upper 40s to low 50s. Clear and cold, mid to upper 20s tonight. We'll see an increase in the cloud cover on Thursday. Our high temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. We may see a little snow, especially across the north on Friday. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Brewer to Jones for the slam. How about Matt Jones? He's got
Weekdays from 11 to 2.
Hey, we can't make you a morning person, but we can make your mornings.
ESPN 95.3.
that three-peat we've been talking about that hadn't happened since the 30s, it shows you how hard it is. And now that probably will stand beyond 100 years. I don't see Michigan going on a three-peat. Certainly don't see Washington doing that. And I don't think Alabama's in a position any longer to accomplish that or make a run at it. As great as Alabama's dynasty is and has been, they couldn't do it either.
Hey, this is Darren McFadden. You're listening to The Morning Rush.
Live from the Busch Light Studios.
Heard all across ESPN Arkansas and hitthatline.com.
Hit that line.
This is The Morning Rush with Ty Richardson, Tommy Kraft, and Chuck Barrett.
You're in need of a serious attitude adjustment, young man. You better get your priorities straight.
Produced by Christian Johnston.
In spite of the juvenile snickers of some, this is a serious matter.
Call or text The Morning Rush on the McClarty Daniel hotline. With 6 locations in Springdale and Bentonville, a good deal is never too far away.
You don't need to wear a ball cap, man. You need to let those golden locks flow.
Let's talk some college football with our friend Clay Henry, the Hall of Famer, who joins us momentarily for the first time in 2024. We'll get into a couple things. Arkansas losing their leading tackler, Jaheim Thomas. Still looking for a wide receivers coach at this point. Plus, news circulating about Jim Harbaugh from Adam Schefter. All that coming up in Hour 3.
Hey, Vici Aesthetics and Wellness can get you off to the right start in 2024 with a weight loss program with semaglutide or teraziptide that will reduce your cravings, reduce the appetite, reduce what you're, the amount you're eating, basically, and you're going to lose the weight. That's what this program is all about. It's worked for me. I had my lowest weigh-in a year today when I stepped on the scale this morning. And excited about going to Vici today for my weekly check-in. I think that's also part of what makes it work is Vici provides that weekly update, weekly accountability to make sure that you stay on track. They adjust the dosage. They make sure it's working right for you. Semaglutide and tirzepatide, they're FDA weight loss medications approved by the FDA. You're doctor supervised at all times with Vici Aesthetics and Wellness. This is a safe and effective program for you. Appointments are available virtually in Arkansas, Missouri, and Oklahoma. Call and set one up, or you can text even to the same number, 479-343-8424. That's 343-8424 for Vici Aesthetics and Wellness.
I have just one question for you. Are you ready?
I've been ready for this my whole life.
Here he is. The Clay Henry.
Clay, we started an important conversation in hour number 1 talking about steak, and I did mine on the stovetop last night. Did a ribeye with grilled onions, grilled mushrooms, little Cavender's seasoning. What is the way that you go about your steak as we welcome you in this morning?
Well, the best way to do it is if you have real charcoal and you build a bed of coals and you sear it quickly, then you have a way in that grill to, you sear both sides and then you put it on indirect heat for the last so minutes to get it up to your temperature, whether you want it rare or medium rare. Anything past medium rare, you've ruined the steak. Now, having said that, there are times when it's so cold outside that I will take a cast iron skillet, just like they do at Herman's, and sear it on both sides, and then put it on a tray and stick it in the oven and bring it to temperature.
That's how you said it earlier.
Yeah,
right?
I know what I'm talking about, Ty. Don't roll your eyes at me when I suggest putting it in the oven like I'm an idiot over here. I know it. See, I know what I'm talking about.
I just think that. What did you call
that's
it?
the same as putting it on indirect heat. You're controlling the way you bring it to temperature,
and it cooks top to bottom. Even the only better way to cook it evenly top to bottom is the sous vide.
I just think
I've done that before, and I don't like the flavor quite as much.
No, I'd agree. But you'll never screw it up that way.
So that, to me, from what I've been told, there are a lot of restaurants for their steaks that they use the sous vide so that they can bring it to the temperature, and then when you order a steak, they sear it. And you're going to get it in 4, 5, 6 minutes, as opposed to starting from scratch. So that's the advantage of a sous vide. And but I don't need that that timing mechanism at home. But you will, if you sear it on a hot skillet and have it seasoned right. In fact, I have Herman steak seasoning here at the house. They have that available at Richard's. A lot of other seasonings too. We'll kind of smoke up the house a little bit, so there's a downside to that. But then the good part about that is that you smell smell that aroma. It kind of gives you the, man. It's,
now you're making me hungry.
We're going to have steak. But if I really liked you, Ty, I'd bring you over here and demonstrate. You mentioned earlier that y'all got me, or you said I've got him for 2024. Can we just go one day at a time?
Just take it.
I mean, it's kind of like, okay, his sentence is 12 month in radio hell.
Oh, a sentence, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm joking. Yeah. Hey, I gotta say this. We added a family member on my wife's side, Thomas Gannay, who's an old classmate. He says he's 1 year behind you, Ty, at Little Rock Christian. And to my great surprise at our Christmas event recently, he spoke in glowing terms about Ty's leadership at Little Rock Christian and how the younger guys looked up to him, played a lot of pickup basketball together. Am I getting this right? The basketball, y'all played some pickup games together?
We did, yes.
Yeah, so he's one of the honchos over at the Baptist Student Ministry, and then he married Hannah Corley, our niece, who works at Cross Church. So I was a little bit disgusted that our Christmas conversation in our room with 30 members of Gene Ann's family somehow ended up about Ty Richardson.
It's funny how things just circle back at some point in time.
But the clincher to that whole story is that the wedding was 2 weeks ago, and it's the first wedding of somebody from Little Rock Christian that didn't invite Ty.
There it is.
You weren't invited?
I was not invited. No.
Literally, that
didn't
leadership
even know
he
it.
spoke
Didn't
of,
even know it.
Didn't even know it happened.
No.
Wow.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, Thomas.
Yeah. Thomas gave you props. Yeah,
that's good.
One more wedding and you hit the over for 23. I mean,
is that what it is?
Yeah, we were half a wedding under the over under at 12 and a half.
I didn't do anything to keep you off the list. So I wanted to. Y'all had a nice discussion. I've been up, had breakfast, and was listening to y'all the last 30 minutes. And the NIL discussion in basketball, and I think that there's always a risk of losing a player because you don't have enough in your collective, or you don't have a booster that's ready to step up. But I mean, just think about the players that they lost last year. I don't know if there have been anything different with Anthony Black or maybe with Nick Smith as far as he fell. If you had another chunk of NIL money to offer him, Jordan Walsh for sure didn't get a big contract. And then, there's some that come to mind, in particular, one you're going to play against in a few weeks in Grant Nelson, that Alabama basically outbid you for. So, don't think that the NIL is not a factor in the way your team looks, because those two players are exactly a power forward, exactly what you're missing. I'm talking about a big-time back to the basket guy that can play inside. Walsh was so good down the stretch last year and in NCAA tournament. Maybe struggled at other times in foul trouble, but he was a big piece by the end of the season. And Nelson's a veteran. He come from South Dakota State or one of those schools there.
North Dakota State, I think.
Yeah, North. But they really wanted him and thought they were going to get him. And in the end, Alabama, they ponied up more. And that's my beef, so to speak, is that everybody thinks that basketball has got what they need. Anything that they can do to raise that, and then the arena discussion. There's so many things that are going to be done, just besides the little configuration that might lose some seats. That the premium seating, where they host the people for the premium seat. I mean, it's basically it's a part of a dungeon. It's where they take them, and it's not a very nice place. It's not very easy to get to. The concourses are outdated. the way they've got it set up for technical aspects for basketball, the things that don't even affect fans. They're things that need to be done. It is 1993, vintage. I mean, it was started in 91, and there's just things that were done wrong, not wrong for then, but that are wrong now, that need to be fixed. And it just it's a must. It's not a it's not a we'd like to. This must be done, and they will lose some seats, but they're going to be able to charge so much more for good premium, load seating that's closer to the floor. I think that those top end donors that that they can't afford those nice amenities, they're going to like it. And in the end, recruits are going to come in, and it's going to be dressed up, and it's going to be easier to sell that this is the premium place in America. I mean, there won't be another arena like it. So I worry that that we focus in on one small aspect of what they're trying to do and lose sight of the big picture of why they need it.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, and I think that in some ways that they did a lot of things right. I like that the upper deck seating is so much better than the high up seating that was in Barnhill. But
yeah, there's no obstructed views up there.
Yeah, and it's so they've done a lot of things right.
The reality.
There's a lot of those seats that aren't used for most of the game. Most of the games.
Right. If you didn't know better, and you just dropped in out of a hot air balloon into Bud Walton Arena, and you said, "Guess how old this building is?" You just did that today. You wouldn't guess 30 years old. I mean, that I think over time it has aged well what they have, but with today's demand for premium seating, they've got to change some things up.
So this was my explanation from Jeff Long, and he was really careful. It was pretty much an off the record comment when he got here, and it after about 6 months, really studying everything. And Hunter did the same thing, and he said the look from the street for all the facilities is okay. Coach Burrell's great at cost engineering. Really has some nice looking facilities in many respects all around campus, but they were cost engineered down to nothing in the guts. In other words, what was usable space and everything, it's basically just as cheap as you could do it and get in it. And I mean, I'm not sure that's not the way to go, but it also it could be refinished, basically, the inside. The only thing that I really would like for them to do in the stadium is and they say that it's just impossible to do, is the outside of the west stands never got the dress that the rest of the stadium. It's not bricked up. It just looks like an old battleship or something. The backside of it that could be bricked up or. And they don't have any room for concessions. So that's the one area that I wish they could fix.
The football stadium?
Yeah, the football stadium. Yeah. That's the only place in that building now that I say, well, that they missed the boat on that. But part of it is there's a street there. There was nowhere to go. The street was further away on the east side. They were able to do some things and put some elevators in there and some other things that really helped fans in and out, gave them concourse room there. There isn't any on the west side, and in some respects those are some of your they're seats out of the sun. Those are some of your best seats, and your fans have the worst access to them. The sidewalk is not very big. I mean, it's and they need the access of that road for all kinds of other reasons besides football, and you can't wipe that road out and do something there.
Hey, welcome in the new year with Arts Barbecue. They are on Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Arts has many lighter options on the menu that are available right now, from grilled chicken to fish options to low-carb entrees, plus delicious sides that are low-carb as well. And since Arts smokes all of their meats, including their hams and turkeys, the meats that go on top of, say, a chef salad or any of their salads not only taste delicious, but make a great option for those that are trying to make lighter, easier choices here at the beginning of the year. And sometimes you just need a cheeseburger. Every Saturday, $1 off all burgers at Arts. Arts Barbecue, Burgers, and more, Rogers Avenue, next to Buddy's in Fort Smith.
Jim Harbaugh has been a huge topic amongst not just college football circles, but NFL circles, with speculation that after this game coming Monday night, he will move back into the National Football League. Adam Schefter, respected reporter for ESPN, pretty much solid when it comes to NFL coverage. Here's what he said in regards to his future in either college or the NFL.
The way that I look at this is this. Like, let's just look at it in basic facts. He hasn't signed an extension with Michigan yet. He's hired an agent, Don Yee, who has deep NFL connections. He's got Michigan one game away from a national championship. Whether or not he wins it, I believe that the NFL will help dictate or determine whether or not he goes. If there's a team out there that really wants him, that makes a really compelling offer, my sense is that he would be interested, absolutely, in listening and entertaining that offer.
So I think Jim Harbaugh has been good for college football this year, amongst the recruiting suspension, amongst the cheating suspension. It has brought attention to the sport with NIL, transfer portal. College football has gained ground in various areas at this point. Guys, I think it would be bad for college football that he left. You had the most watched semifinal game in nearly a decade this past Monday night, and I think Harbaugh contributed to that. Do you guys want him to move on, or do you want him to stay in college?
Yeah, let's go back to that statement a little bit and kind of zero in and dissect it. I don't think the negative way that he operated his program was good in any fashion for college football. It may have been good for ESPN's ratings, but that doesn't tell me it's, what he did both in recruiting during COVID, which is what they've got him for. First of all, that's, the things that he did, which were contacts during COVID when we were in a pandemic, flouting the rules when everybody else was maintaining. When you say Arkansas's classes during those years were, an all-time low, and that's why you're having to go so heavy in the portal right now. And Jim Harbaugh was out there going to see whoever he wanted to. That's not good for college football. And the fact that they built their program that way is distasteful. And that's no regard to the rules. The scouting scandal. We outlawed in-person scouting years ago, and that they did that in such an elaborate way, and that every opponent knew that had been done and had to change their way of operating for one game. That's not good for college football, Ty. And, you may say that scandal and chaos is good for entertainment value in your seat, in your home. It's not for me.
What's been the most entertaining NFL franchise in the last 2 decades, Clay?
I don't watch NFL, so it's
New
kind of
England
a moot point.
Patriots, who have been immersed in scandals before as well. Now, you can say the degree of those said scandals were either less or more than what Michigan has had to deal with, but what?
Yeah, they are. They if you want to talk about the football, that's and I'm not sure that even impacted the games. And
Spygate and Deflategate. You don't think it impacted it whatsoever? I think
the Deflategate. I surely don't believe it impacted the game. I don't. And there's nothing that tells me that was because Brady's passing was as good with regular aired balls as it was with deflated balls. So, but the Spygate is, to me, that is embarrassing, and so is the Michigan thing. And they penalized Belichick, but I don't really compare NFL to college. It's two different things. The sanctity of what college should be like is not the same as NFL. That's the kind of stuff. That's why Harbaugh needs to go to the NFL. They have a better way of dealing with those type issues. They can fine you, they can suspend you, and
Take draft choices away from him.
Yeah, and the other thing that is just impossible at the college level is that there's hardly any way to police things, and if he wants to do that, he belongs in the NFL.
Yeah, it's like you said, there doesn't seem to be, and there isn't, a set commission. You've got Charlie Baker as the head of the NCAA, but there doesn't seem to be any major repercussions when stuff like that happens. I would agree with you on that, but I think, again, the talking, how much college football has taken center stage at this point, and I think he ultimately leaves after.
Ty, if you took that away, you'd be talking about how great Michigan's playing, and that deters from, and they are playing great, and they might be doing the same thing without all those things, and that would be the focus. I think, I'd like to talk about the whole bowl scenario, and I've heard so many people say the bowls are this or the bowls are that, and then I asked them, I said, did you watch the games? They all did.
Yeah, and that's really the bottom line of what drives the biggest catalyst of all the revenue. Hey, before we go, let me remind you that if your business is trying to start off the new year with a great-looking website to display your storefront on a 24/7 basis, 365-day-a-year basis, that's what a great-looking website does for you. Who do you turn to create that kind of product, that kind of utility for you? Well, you turn to Modular Orange. For $95 a month, they can write, design, launch, host, secure, take care of every aspect of your website and help you keep it up to date as month after month passes by. 479-755-3043 is the number, 755-3043, or get more details online at modularorange.com.
We will talk about some of those bowl games coming up and maybe the appetite for keeping the national championship in one spot.
Best sports talk show in Arkansas.
I'm going to be like Rudy leading them on the field.
Tommy.
Yeah,
Tommy.
that's right.
Here, Chuck in the booth. What is the crowd cheering?
Yeah, I can't.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Call or text the McClarty Daniel hotline at 877-377-6963. McClarty Daniel, a vehicle for every lifestyle.
When you're looking for a new car, you want to shop for a vehicle you love with an organization you trust. You've probably heard that McClarty Daniel means making deals, but what I'm inspired by the most is that McClarty Daniel means making a difference in our community. When you buy a vehicle with McClarty Daniel, you reinvest right here in the community, in our schools, in our little leagues, in our food banks, and our people. So you're not just making a purchase, you're making a difference too. Come see us at any of our 6 locations in Northwest Arkansas.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
If you hope heaven has a bar, it's guaranteed that you'll be bounced and barred. Heaven is reserved for those who have put their hope in God's Word. Jesus said you must be born again by trusting in Him, or you won't see the kingdom of heaven. God set the bar so high, that's why Jesus had to die. If you refuse God's last call, the Holy Spirit will serve you a fireball. I'm Pastor Heath from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline is your number one source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.
Looking for an African adventure without the hassle of planning? Kruger Safari Club has got you covered. Our custom hunting and safari packages take care of everything from transportation to accommodations, so you can focus on enjoying the experience of a lifetime. With our team's extensive knowledge of the best hunting and safari spots in South Africa, Mozambique, and Zimbabwe, you'll have access to some of the most breathtaking views and exciting game hunting opportunities on the planet. And with our commitment to ethical hunting and giving back to the local community, you'll know that your trip with us is making a positive impact. Book your trip now and let us take care of the rest. Find out more at KrugerSafariClub.com.
Are you looking for the best Razorbacks insight and analysis?
Hell yes.
How about listening to an Arkansas football legend?
Matt Jones, all he does is make big plays.
What's the voice of the Hogs have to say?
Hey, what a great crowd last night.
Don't forget about the Omahogs.
The Hogs are going to Omaha.
Matt Jones, Chuck Barrett, and Phil Elson, the best in the business on the Hit That Line Podcast Network. Go to hitthatline.com or search Hit That Line wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to rate, review, subscribe, and share.
Are you in need of a good power washing? Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash is a full-service pressure washing corporation with over 15 years of experience in the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas. Cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more. We remove dirt, grime, and more to give you that sparkle you desire. Call me at 479-763-5561. We're open Monday through Saturday from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Mike Jr.'s Mo Wash, one call, cleans it all.
First of all, it's an honor to be on here with the voice of the Razorbacks, Chuck.
Menifield's going to work in the backcourt, throws over the double team to Devo. Devontae back to Menifield, and they're across the timeline. Lob to Brazil, and he throws down another one. The fifth assist from Menifield tonight. Brazil with the throwdown. He's got 10. It's 90-73.
Join the conversation. Call or text ESPN Arkansas on the McClarty Daniel hotline, 877-377-6963.
And I'm sure we'll have some takes on the following discussion, talking about bowl games. That's something I want to talk about, Clay wants to talk about, Tommy wants to talk about, and we will do that coming up in just a bit. We'll also get more into our beefs as well. I do want to share the story of the Carolina Panthers owner, David Tepper, who was fined $300,000. And we'll do all that coming up.
Hey, we're brought to you by Lisa's Louvers of Northwest Arkansas. Give your home the gift of new window coverings this year. Let Lisa's Louvers of Northwest Arkansas get your home dressed up with new and beautiful custom window treatments from Graber, from gorgeous draperies, energy-efficient shades to smart technology blinds, shades, and everything in between. Lisa's has you covered, and they have over 20 years in the business, so they're a proud small business right here in our own backyard in Northwest Arkansas. They really believe that true customer service is king. Lisa's Louvers is a proud carrier of Graber window coverings. You'll get an experienced design consultation absolutely free. So call to schedule your free estimate, 479-644-6404. That's 644-6404. or visit them online at lisaslouversnwa.com.
So I got to be honest. I have watched one bowl game outside of the college football playoff semifinal. That's Penn State and Ole Miss, where Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin got to 11 wins. Jackson Dart's coming back, and they've added a ton of guys out of the transfer portal for next year. That's going to be a really good football team, I think. What have you guys done during bowl season? Have you guys watched them? Have you? What does that look like for you in 2023 and the kind of start of 2024?
Trying to think which day it was. I watched 5, and there was another day I watched 4. I probably watched 12 or 14, and I'm probably not the normal, but I can tie flies and watch football and be real happy. And now if we'd had anything other than 37, 38 degree days, I probably would have skipped some of those and gone fishing. But it was just the wind. It was just too brutally cold to do anything outside. I enjoy football, and the games. I might not have watched them to the conclusion if I thought that one was out of hand. But I like the strategy. I like to see the young players, and sometimes that's what they were. But I think most of the teams, they were fun games to watch. Some of them were in the rain. Some of them, I watched Boston College and SMU because I like Rhett Lashley. And see, I can find usually a coach from a team. I like to watch Air Force because I know Tim Hortons, on that staff. So those are some of my drawing cards. And I'll watch NFL games because I know there's a Frank Ragnow playing, or there's a Dre Greenlaw playing, or somebody that I'd spent time with, doing an interview years ago. And so that's oftentimes my motivation.
Jerry texted on the McCarty Daniel hotline. He's watched 15 games at this point. What'd you say, Tommy, estimate how many you've kind of paid attention to? Just hadn't been for me, and it hadn't been for a couple years now.
I've watched parts of lots of games. I've watched maybe 4 or 5 all the way through, including more or less both games.
Saturday. Sunday.
Or whatever day it was.
Oh, it was Monday.
Monday, yeah. I watched both of those games. I stayed up late and watched. I fell asleep watching the last one, but watched, all of the first one and the vast majority of the second. So I'm kind of like Clay. If the weather's been good, I'd rather get out and play golf than watch the, Gasparillo Bowl, or two teams I really don't care a lot about. And I think the opt-outs, I feel bad for fans of teams. In Arkansas is going to find their way back into that situation next year, and they're going to have a different-looking team in a bowl game. Now, you can take the perspective of sadness that, hey, our team won 7, 8, 9 games, and the roster's gutted by opt-outs, or you can say, hey, this is the future look of our program. Depends on glass half full or half empty, but I feel for these fans that paid money to go to watch these games when you're really not getting to see the true team you supported all year.
Yeah, I think, Tommy, that's interesting, and I believe that is where we're headed. But I think that most fans, they understand that. They understand. It's not like we've just sprung it on them today.
They know the risk.
Yeah, they know going in. Like when they order bowl tickets, that the likelihood you can pick out the 3 or 4 that probably aren't going to be there. I think that it was a unique situation with Florida State, that the distaste of all the things that happened to them impacted how many players that's probably not the norm. We don't really know the feel of what the bowls are going to look like going forward, because the playoffs going to be expanded. We're going to have many more games that have compelling reasons to watch because of you're losing, you move forward in the playoffs. And I think that's also one of the things that could impact the interest, say in early November, that your team has only lost 1 game or lost 2 games. You're not out of it yet. Yeah. Especially if you're, a Power 5 team in the SEC or you're in the Big Ten. Yep. So I don't think we know how it's going to turn out.
Hey, whether you're fishing for cold water bass on Beaver Lake or Table Rock, or you're headed to the mighty White River, take along the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue. It will help you catch more fish, as this famous Rogue has that rolling action that stays in the strike zone longer, helping you catch more fish, whether it's in a heavy current or little bit slower current. You can find the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue at Walmart, Bass Pro Shops, Academy, LureNet.com, and tackle stores all over the place. Ask for it by name, the Smithwick Original Suspending Rattling Rogue.
We'll return. We'll get our SEC update and conclude our What's Your Beef Wednesday next.
The sign of a smart man is to understand that things change and to roll with those changes. And Ty, I applaud that you've done that.
You're listening to The Morning Rush.
The best selection of RVs is now even better at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV has added Brinkley RVs to the already loaded lineup of Grand Design and Forest River products. See the Brinkley Model Z, the latest innovation in luxury fifth wheels. And like always, every new RV comes with a lifetime warranty, so you can camp with confidence. So stop in and find out why Wheels has been voted best RV dealer year after year. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
WT Equipment is your home for New Holland ag and construction equipment, sales, parts, and service. For high horsepower row crop tractors and combines, utility tractors and hay equipment, compact track loaders, and mini excavators, WT Equipment has it all. Stop by one of their 8 locations to explore the value of New Holland tractors and see why New Holland hay equipment and twin rotor combines are second to none in harvesting ability. Need to upgrade your construction equipment fleet? Give WT Equipment a call. Come by a store or check out their website, WTEquip.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
This is the Morning Rush.
Touchdown, Hogs! Holy Hogs!
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family, from general dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Davis, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Now offering same-day crowns. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
This ad is for the paint store in Van Buren. I doubt you thought paint was anything like football, right? So for football, you need a team. For painting, you might need a primer, the perfect color, maybe a top coat, and bug juice to keep the spiders and bugs away, right? So it takes a team of products to make the winning paint job. The right place for that is in Van Buren at the paint store, and the right place for certified grass-fed beef from M&M Farms in Rudy. That's right, all at 1414 Fayetteville Road in Van Buren.
Doe's Eat Place, serving award-winning steaks, has now added lobster tail and salmon to the menu. You can also enjoy delicious appetizers along with your choice of drinks from the largest selection of wines, beer, and liquor in the River Valley. Doe's Eat Place is open Tuesday through Thursday 5 till 9 and Friday and Saturday 5 till 10. Reservations are recommended. Call 784-9111. That's 784-9111. Doe's Eat Place, 422 North 3rd Street, Fort Smith.
The Golf Nut has a great selection of Arkansas hoodies and in-game shirts from Nike. The Golf Nut also has the best selection of clubs like Callaway Paradigm, TaylorMade Stealth 2, and Peen G430, along with a wide assortment of shoes, apparel, and golf bags. Needing help with your game? Call Matt Brooks and schedule a lesson on the simulator at 646-4430. Matt has over 10 years in the golf industry. The Golf Nut, 5121 Towson Avenue in Fort Smith, your #1 golf shop since 1994.
Patriot Transport wants to thank their drivers for their hard work and dedication. The local and over-the-road drivers are essential to the Patriot Transport mission. Day in and day out, Patriot Transport drivers are on the road striving for safety and success. To the behind-the-scenes dispatch and office employees, Patriot Transport thanks them as well for the hard work they put in day and night. If you want to be a part of the Patriot Transport family, visit patriottransport.com. Patriot Transport is located in Danville, Arkansas.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at goforsgren.com. That's goforsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Locally owned Lumber One can handle all of your building needs. They've built their business on having great relationships with everybody from contractors and builders to the everyday build-it-yourself. Lumber One has a full-line door shop to handle all of your door, window, and trim needs. And along with lumber, roofing and drywall products, attic wall and floor insulation is available. Lumber One also does blueprint takeoff with access to design services with estimates available. So go where the pros go. Lumber One, located on Industrial Park Road in Van Buren.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Somebody said we've got SEC bias. Deal with it. They're the best.
In the SEC, it just means more.
I know one thing. The SEC just got a little tougher.
This is your SEC update on the Morning Rush.
It's kind of weird that Monday night will not feature an SEC football team as Michigan takes on Washington Tech. In fact, you could say it's featuring two big teams with the Huskies joining the Big Ten, who will also play and host Michigan in Seattle this next year. Clay, I don't know if you know this. Either way, how the championship was going to play out, if Michigan won, you're either going to get Michigan-Washington or Michigan-Texas, which are both on the schedule this next season. So you'll have a rematch for a national championship either way this next year.
That's cool, and those great intersectional games I like a lot. Of course, one of them would be, a conference game, right? Mm-hmm. So, yeah. The thing that I wish they could get fixed, I hate playing these games in the Rose Bowl. And I know it's a great old place, but it's also a really old place. It is it's the worst place to watch football that there is. The seats slope dramatically away from the field and are low. Modern stadiums, stack decks so that you've got great sight lines. Like, I can give you, 20 NFL stadiums that would be, wonderful for a game like that. It's the Superdome is old, but their seats, are better than the Rose Bowl. And then you've got those bench seats that are in the Rose Bowl. That there's no leg room. I mean, the fans are treated just awful in that venue. It's in a valley. There's one road that comes in and one road that goes out. And to empty that stadium takes 4 hours. There's just nothing. The teams. Both those teams are probably trying to get to airports to fly home because the winner is tasked with playing another game in short fashion. That the two winners of the two different games probably got home at the same time because one of them had to wait 4 hours to get out of the Rose Bowl because there's just no way to get out of that stadium.
You're a fan of the Rose Bowl. You've never been to a game.
I've never been to the Rose Bowl. I mean,
don't go.
When Arkansas played USC out there in 06, I guess it was. Oklahoma played UCLA the same day.
05, yeah.
05, okay, 05. Arkansas played, it was 05. Oklahoma played UCLA same day in the Rose Bowl, so you could go out and see both games. I didn't do that, but it had been a great college football we did. It had been a great college football trip to see the Coliseum and the Rose Bowl in the same day. I mean, how awesome would that have been? But
it's like but
we are steeped in tradition and nostalgia, and Clay's right. There are 25 stadiums in the country that are far better.
Yeah, it's an antique.
They're great to drive every now and then, these antiques, but it's not what you want to drive. You don't want to drive an antique car every day to work.
It's like you went to Provo, 2 years ago. There were people that went to both Provo to watch Arkansas BYU in the morning and then watch the Utah who beat USC that night. Not the same significance of stadiums, but you have
close.
like a cool setup where you were able to do that at that point.
I mean, that to me, not even the same comparison, but yeah, I mean,
I get it. It's the Rose Bowl.
The Rose Bowl, but
it doesn't make it.
But why do we bow at the altar? Why do we bow at their altar still to this day in college football?
Granddaddy of them all.
According to who? I mean,
Keith Jackson.
Granddaddies die. That's what happens.
Yeah, but he said that 40 years ago. And 40 years ago, there weren't all these great stadiums.
Yeah,
it's changed.
We just don't need to be beholden to it.
So Herb Street.
If it was that great, they'd have the Super Bowl there on a regular basis, and they don't.
Do you think that college football, Clay, should have a college football venue that hosts the national championship every year, or should it go around?
Well, I think that you've got a select number of stadiums that are appropriate. I mean, Mercedes-Benz in Atlanta is a great place to play a game. I think AT&T, exactly. AT&T Stadium is perfect. I think the Superdome is still a classic place. And you've got the Las Vegas and the Santa Clara and what's SoFi Field? Where's that at? L.A.
Los Angeles.
I didn't know whether that was in a suburb of whatever.
Maybe Inglewood.
Maybe. Yeah. So those are the obvious places. I don't think you have to have Augusta National where you play it at the same place every year. But they've got a good number of top-end stadiums that I think are suitable for that game.
Other SEC news, Nick Saban, according to USA Today, watched a Turkish foreign film with Mrs. Terry following the post-loss to this point. That did not seem like something that he maybe that was a Mrs. Terry thing that he apparently
he probably was in La La Land and didn't care, it didn't matter. I mean, it's like it's like every once in a while read a subtitle. I mean, that's how that went down. And I mean, it would probably, if he was going to be mentally sharp, it probably would take him 12 Little Debbies to get there.
Other two things to get to. College basketball last night. Tennessee defeats Norfolk State at home in Thompson Bowling, and then Auburn beats Penn. Auburn has a lot of guys returning from last year. Brome's going to be an all-SEC center. Cardwell's their backup center. Katie Johnson. Chris Moore, the Arkansas kid. That is a tough team that's walking into your building on Saturday. I didn't realize how many pieces they had back, but Bruce Pearl's got himself a quality squad this year. That might be the most underrated team in the SEC outside of Ole Miss.
Yeah, they lost a great center, but I think when you talk about Kentucky, Auburn, and Alabama specifically, and Arkansas, they're going to be able to reload because of NIL and because of their coach, and that's going to be, I would say, just mark it on your calendar, the next few Auburn-Arkansas games that you have a chance to go see, in Bud Walton, I'd go see them. They're going to be worth watching.
Yeah. And you got one this year. You will not make the return trip to the Jungle this season. Again, hosting the top 25 squad.
That's like getting a win. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely take that. And that is your SEC update here this morning.
And it's brought to you by the Cottages at the Park by Buffington Homes. The Cottages at the Park is the newest community from Buffington Homes and is one of the most convenient places to live in all of Northwest Arkansas. It's on the north side of Springdale, so it's just steps away from the newly constructed Shaw Family Park, but close to all the major employers like Tyson Foods, J.B. Hunt, the U of A, Walmart's home offices. It's close to Arkansas Children's Northwest, the region's only pediatric hospital, so it's strategically and conveniently located to all the main points in Northwest Arkansas. The Cottages at the Park defines relaxed living with welcoming front porches, shady sidewalks, lush green spaces, making it easy to enjoy the outdoors and meet new neighbors. You'll find the prices great, starting in the 400s, with a variety of great floor plans to choose from, including a selection of single-story and two-story homes that are perfect for all stages of life. Hey, to learn more about Cottages at the Park, visit BuffingtonHomesAR.com/Hog Radio. That's BuffingtonHomesAR.com/Hog Radio. The Cottages at the Park, helping you build a life you'll love.
So we're talking about stadiums, and the Carolina Panthers owner, David Tepper, was in the stadium for the Jacksonville Jaguars this last week, and they got shut out 26-0 on Sunday. and he got fined $300,000 for throwing a drink on a Jags fan after the game. He was beefing with how bad his team is this year. He said, I should have let the NFL stadium security handle my issues that arose. I respect the NFL's code of conduct and accept the league's discipline for my behavior. So he's beefing not only that his Carolina Panthers got shut out, but the fact that they are the worst team in the National Football League this year.
That really hurt him too, I bet. He's got $200 billion.
Yeah, he's got over $20 billion. That is worth
billion.
it.
Yeah,
so where does that $300,000 go?
Yeah, and that was a question I was going to ask you.
I mean, the fan that got the drink put on him doesn't, that they don't get that $300,000. So does it go to a fund that goes to charity? Does the league just absorb it? I don't know what happens to money that falls into that fine rabbit hole. I don't know where that money goes.
I've gotten a beer poured on me in Minneapolis when I was wearing a cheesehead at a Minnesota Vikings game when they played the Packers. But I've never, I don't think, thrown a beer at an opposing fan.
How much does a beer cost? It's like $16, $18, $20, depending on the size and where you're at. I'm not throwing a $20 bill on somebody because I'm mad at them.
Well, when you got $20 billion, you can throw beer. Yeah, it's not, you can get another one. So
I bet he didn't
kind
pay for that
of
one.
surprised me that's usually those guys are drinking wine or Pappy 15 or something like that. They're not messing with beer.
You don't know what Pappy is?
What's Pappy?
It's brown water.
It's high.
Oh, is that whiskey?
High end is not even It's bourbon.
It's expensive. I mean, it's four figures expensive, isn't it, Tommy?
Oh yeah. You can get a pour. You can probably get a pour for $100
See, to me, high end whiskey's like Maker's Mark.
Oh no,
that's high end to
no,
me.
No.
I think that's the
no.
Rare is it that I drink anything.
And I bet
that's better than Jack Daniels, but it doesn't compare with that other stuff.
No, and I've never had Pappy's, never had a taste of Pappy's, but I bet it doesn't live up. To the cost.
I had it once, and I was like, okay, it's not all that.
Yeah.
I mean, we're probably going to a break, but I got a story of my wife and kids getting beer dumped on them at Tiger Stadium, 1993. And there's a good ending to the story, but it sounded like the music's playing.
Yeah. Well, let me quickly tell you, this weekend's the Pippin Stakes at Oaklawn Park, the $150,000 stakes race for four-year-olds and up. Be sure and download the Oaklawn Anywhere app, and you can enjoy races from anywhere you're at. Well, on your phone, tablet, or computer, use the promo code RUSH24 to get your $150 sign-up bonus. But you only get it if you use the promo code RUSH24. And get ready for racing Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays all the way through May at Oaklawn Park. First post time, 12:30. Don't forget the Pippin Stakes this Saturday at Oaklawn Park. All right, you got about a little over a minute, Clay. Tell us your story.
Yeah, so somehow my family ended up in the main section of the LSU stadium behind the bench, about 15 rows up, 50-yard line. And it was through a travel agent that worked Baton Rouge and traded some advertising in Hogs Illustrated. And Arkansas just smoked them. That was Jerry DiNardo's LSU Tigers, who weren't very good. And the girls made the mistake of standing up and calling the Hogs in that section, with about 2 minutes to go, and just beer came from everywhere on, their brand new outfits. And they were probably junior high age and disappointed. And, Gene N was wanting to challenge, some of those adults, and, like these are young girls y'all are throwing beer on, and you run their hairdos and all that. And some nice LSU Tiger fans about 2 rows over handed them Tiger Tails to take home and said, we're not all like that, which was really nice.
Well, it's somewhat of a redeeming quality for LSU fans. I'll be there probably in Baton Rouge in February when Arkansas takes on LSU. I think it's a second weekend. I've never been to the PMAC, but I don't think it's going to be as hostile as Baton Rouge was this past year or any years. But, Clay, we appreciate you joining us as always, man. Always good stuff.
Let's do it 1 week at a time, and maybe we can make it through 2024.
It works for me. For Clay Henry, Tommy Kraft, and Big C, I'm
Thanks,
Ty.
Tommy. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everybody.
This is Bruce Stanton, Vice President and General Manager of